True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's been missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, I'm just saying what's up again. I got the belt. I'm at the top with the crown, with the title. We run the YouTube boxing community, so that's why I'm wearing this belt. But all jokes aside, I wanted to just come here and talk to you guys and just see what's up. Talk about some things going on in the boxing world. If y'all got any questions, anything you want to discuss, you got my undivided attention. All of it. Every last bit of it. There's quite a lot in boxing to dissect at the moment. This weekend we got Devin Haney. Devin the Dream Haney. He coming. He fighting Linares. They ducking Devin Haney. All right, they ducking Devin Haney, but he's fighting Linares. It's good for him that he's finally in a step-up fight. If you're tuning in, by the way, make sure you smash that like button so YouTube knows that you're walking with your boy El Intocable, and they get this video out to more people. If you're watching the playback, like this video, all that stuff, because it's very, very important. But yeah, Devin Haney's fighting this weekend. I'm gonna give y'all the early heads up. We had some strings pulled on behalf of the Untouchable. I'm gonna be at the Devin Haney Jorge Linares weigh-in and press conference, so be on the lookout for all of them interviews. Enrique Luna, what's good, champ? How you living? Good to see you. I'm good. What's up? Everything is up. I'm good. Just relaxing here here in Vegas with my friends. Marco's past the future lightweight champion of the world, and Johnny as well. We're going to the gym later, so I figured, what? I got time. I made my videos. I've got all my shit on the dashboard straightened out. Let me come talk to. Don't forget about Donaire and Ubali too. Donaire Ubali also this week. Don't forget about Donaire versus Ubali. It's gonna be a great one this week. Brown Gone One. Shout out to him. He says the LDBC are gonna challenge you for that belt. Ain't no challenge. Ain't no challenge because I'm the Untouchable. Ain't nobody challenge me for shit. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. We here talking boxing. Shout out to them. I don't worry about what they got going on. God bless everyone. But this the Untouchable over here. We're at the home of boxing, True School Sports. Yeah, we have Ubali Donaire this week. A lot of good fights on that card. There was one fight on the undercard in particular that stood out to me, but I can't remember it right now. Yo, John, who was on the undercard with Ubali and Donaire? There was one fight I remember that was really, really good.
I think Subriel Matisse is fighting.
Subriel Matisse is fighting that the 18-0 dude. I remember his name right now. But Subriel Matisse is back in action. He punched like a freaking mule. Subriel Matisse. By the way, just so you guys know, June 5th, you guys know Floyd Mayweather's fighting in Miami in my hometown, so I'll be there. I'll be there in person, in the flesh. So if any of you are gonna go to the circus, let me know, cause I'm gonna be there too. I'm gonna be in the circus too. I'm gonna put my belt down because it's getting a little heavy. I don't want to tear my shoulder out. You guys see I'm rocking the Edgar Berlanga shirt today.
Daniel Dubois fights
June 5th. Good point. Daniel Dubois fights June 5th as well, and he's fighting Bogdan Dinu. And Bogdan Dinu, man, he had that one really good fight with Pulev. So I'm looking very forward to that fight. And you got to give a lot of credit to Frank Warren. Frank Warren is the real MVP because somehow, some way, he got Daniel Dubois a shot at one of the WBA trinkets, which as boxing fans, it really doesn't mean anything to us. But in the grand scheme of how fighters move, it does mean something. So he wins this fight just like that. Daniel Dubois is back in the thick of, being involved in some big, important fights. But he's got to win. And there's a lot of questions about his orbital bone, his eye socket, all those things. And Bogdan Dinu can punch. Bogdan Dinu is not a guy that, really almost everybody at heavyweight can punch because when you're that damn big, if you just know how to throw your punches halfway decent, you can punch. But Bogdan Dinu is a guy that really can punch. He fought that had that one fight at Pulev and he opened them, had that cut him right beneath his eye. And it was, he hasn't won or gotten over the line of any of his big fights. Like he got absolutely killed by Jarrell Miller in 4 rounds. He had that fight with Pulev, but he goes there and he always gives a good account of himself. So I would expect nothing less against Dubois. The Gambler, what's good, champ? The Gambler, he says, nice to see you in the Josh Taylor picture. Yeah, man, Josh Taylor was mad cool. I've always been a big fan of him before I met him. I'm definitely a bigger fan of his now because how cool he was and how impressionable, just how personable he was. Because Yeah, I've been around a lot of fighters these past 6 years. Shit, I'm around a fighter right now. Marco's passed. And there's very few fighters I met in my entire life who have the confidence and the presence of a Josh Taylor. And you might say these things don't matter, but they do matter because you can get a feel for what these guys are like in their mind if you get a feel for how they are, just with how they carry themselves. So I think he'll go very far. He'll be a very difficult guy to beat moving forward. Superhuman Unchained, shout out to you. He says, great information. Thank you, champ. Adrian Pennant, I would like to see Michael Coffey fight Carlos Takam next. That'd be a good fight. Carlos Takam is always involved in very, very fun fights, so why not? Make it happen. Make it happen. But yeah, a lot is at stake. Julio Cesar Martinez, MXBC, says, what's up, BT? What's up, champ? How you living? Good to see you, man. I got some time to talk, so I figured I'd take some time to say what's up to you guys. So if you got any questions, I don't necessarily have anything I wanted to talk about, to be honest. We got Pacquiao Spence coming up. We could always talk about that. We got, going to the gym here in a little bit to go watch Marcos train and Angelo Leo train, and hopefully we run into some fighters while we're there. But I don't necessarily have anything in particular I wanted to talk about. This is just me giving you guys some of my time that I have for while I have time. Is your name Juan Cena? Yeah. Facts. He proved it. He was the good guy. He proved it. Now he's good. Guys don't want him to win because he doesn't want to see him get beat. Ken Buchanan's record, as he is my friend. Listen. I know about Ken Buchanan. I know he was a damn good fighter. Very soon, before I leave Las Vegas, me and my boy Johnny, we have quite a lot of fights we're gonna watch. That Ken Buchanan fight is Ken Buchanan's career is one that we're gonna go watch a lot of fights in. So yeah, Ken Buchanan, man, great fighter. Josh Taylor, I think with that win, he's definitely went ahead and he's closed that gap. That gap is closing. Maybe he hasn't passed Ken Buchanan just yet, but he's closing that gap very, very quick. Because look, you gotta look at what he's doing. He's beating guys that are undefeated champions at their best weight, at their prime, and you can't ask for nothing more than that. You can't. Joey Rizzo, shout out to you, champ. What's good? Good to see you. If Josh Taylor gets 2 fights at welterweight, I see him stopping Terrence Crawford. A great fight. Woo! Joey talking. Talk your talk, Joey. Talk your talk, champ. A lot of people here in America, I've been talking to a lot of people, and they still don't believe in Josh Taylor. They say it's great that he beat Ramirez. That's great. That's cool. But it seems like with a lot of people, the jury's still out. They're saying that he can't beat Jerron Ennis, that he can't beat Rashidi Ellis, which is ridiculous. He can't beat Rashidi Ellis. He can't beat Virgil Ortiz. He can't beat this guy. He can't beat that guy. And listen, unless your last name is Crawford, I'm taking Josh Taylor against the field. I'm taking him straight against the field. Unless your last name is Crawford, I'm favoring Josh Taylor over everybody. Pick him. Pick who you want. Name them in the comments. Pick who you want. I'm going with Josh Taylor. I had a chance. I'll tell you guys this story. So the day after Josh Taylor won, I went to the MGM Grand to go hang out with some friends. I went to go hang out by the pool, get some sun. I didn't talk to any females, but one of my friends, he was chatting them up, and using his status as a professional boxer to talk to them. So it was a great time. It was a momentous occasion. But with that being said, with that being said, I was getting some frozen yogurt with my friends, and as I'm sitting there, my friend says, "BT, Virgil Ortiz is in line. He's behind you. Look behind you." So I looked behind me, and there he was. Virgil Ortiz was standing there, him and like 2 guys from his team. So I walked right up to him. I asked if he wanted to do an interview. He said he's going to the airport, whatever. So I didn't want to bother him. But basically, me and him got into a good 5-minute conversation about the Josh Taylor-Jose Ramirez fight. And when we were talking about the Josh Taylor-Jose Ramirez fight, they were trying to tell me, Virgil Ortiz, and I think it was his brother or whoever it was from his team, they were trying to tell me that the fight was close. And I said, absolutely not. absolutely not. It's not happening. You know, absolutely not. It's not happening. There's no way that fight was close. Taylor outclassed him. He schooled him. And they said, that the scorecards the judges had, they believe were accurate. They believe that the 114, 112 scorecards were accurate. And I said, no way, no how. And you know, we cut the conversation kind of short because they had to go eat. But if we would have talked for like probably 2 or 3 more minutes, they would have definitely not liked me, because I would have told them Jose Ramirez can't make adjustments. That's why I knew he wasn't gonna win. And you know, he when he fought Victor the Iceman Postal, I thought he lost that fight. And even if you thought Ramirez won the fight was close. All right. With that being said, I knew Jose Ramirez could make the adjustments to defeat Josh Taylor, and I was proven right. So, you know, say what you want, but you know, most of y'all didn't know what you were looking at when you watched the Postal fight. Shout out to everyone here, all 15 here. Make sure y'all smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Laurent, Jesus, Julio Cesar Martinez says MXBC. He says Earl Spence, man down. Taylor won't be able to handle those body shots. If he fights Earl Spence, he's not gonna fight the same way he fought against Prograis or Ramirez. He gonna box the shit out of Earl Spence. They fight and maybe even drop him. I don't know what belt Shannon Briggs had, but this is the one I got. I got the John Cena. I got the John Cena shit going on right here. The John Cena belt. That's what I'm saying, bro. That's what I'm saying. Josh Taylor clearly beat Jose Ramirez. That's why I'm glad he got the 2 knockdowns, because man, if they're trying to make it seem like the fight was close with the knockdowns, could you imagine what they would have said without the knockdowns? Oh my God. He controlled the fight the whole night. For the most of the fight, he controlled the fight. Jose Ramirez would land some good body shots. He was still even when Ramirez would have success, Josh Taylor was still in control, because Ramirez would hit Josh Taylor with these body shots. He might have been one, maybe the second one would graze him, but Taylor would pivot out immediately, and get back to the center of the ring. When you see a fighter control the area in which the fight is fought, and he's doing that consistently throughout the round, that's called ring generalship. That's a scoring criteria, and people seem to forget that. I'm not playing with you people. I'm the champ. I'm not playing. I told Virgil on his team. I even told him, I'm like, look, because they were trying to tell me about the Ramirez body shots, and I told him, I said, look, when you land a body shot, it's great work, but Josh was still punching in between the punches of Ramirez, and he was landing, and on top of that, he was pivoting out, he was getting to the middle of the ring, and he would control where the fight was fought. That's a scoring criteria. They weren't trying to hear it, so they went ahead. They got the frozen yogurt, and they carried on with their day, but. It always makes me wonder, because look, I like Virgil Ortiz, massive fan of him. You know, I wish nothing but the best for his career. But if he seriously thinks that fight with Josh Taylor Ramirez is close, then like, man, God forbid he fight Jaron Ennis, because you know he may not know what to do. He may not know how to interpret Jaron Ennis pivoting and turning. Just saying, man. But, you know, looking forward to his next fight. Hopefully he can get a big fight soon. I want to see Virgil in there with anybody. I would like to see Virgil in there with Crawford. Taylor got hurt in 3 rounds. Yeah, I mean, he got the shots got his attention, but it doesn't matter if the shots got your attention or if you got buzzed if the fighter that hurt you didn't follow up and do anything with it. I could sit here and play. If I spar someone, right, or if I fight someone and I hit him with a big shot and I don't follow up on anything, who gives a damn if I hurt him or not? I didn't do anything. And then if I allow the guy that I hurt, he was on his back foot. If I allow him to get back to the center of the ring and jab me to death and counter me when he wants, then there's an issue. Oh man. Slotello, shout out to you, champ. He says Josh Taylor damn near beats Canelo Smith despite the weight difference. No, fuck. He will. Listen, I don't care how big Canelo Smith is. I'd pick Josh Taylor to win. Canelo Smith, you know, he was champion. Congrats to him, but he don't really have a whole lot with him as far as his skills. Yeah, I mean, look, we knew that when Ramirez got close, they used the clinching as a tactic. It was a tactic in the fight. It was strategic, and Ramirez had no answer for it. Ramirez had no answer. He had no adjustments for the clinches of Josh Taylor, and it cost him dearly. It cost him a freaking knockdown because he's over there in La La Land, and then he got hit with an uppercut. You know, and in that boxing ring, it's protect yourself at all times. You know, I had Virgil Ortiz in his team, and other people in boxing say, "Oh, it was dirty, it was this, it was that." It's protect yourself at all times. There's no gentleman's agreement. There's no friends. There's no buddies. It's kill or be killed. So if you have a lapse in judgment or a time in the ring where you switch off or whatever the case may be, that's on you, not your opponent. And you are responsible for getting clipped. You are responsible for getting hurt, not your opponent. Your opponent's job is to hurt you, and your job is to hurt him. So. It's a shame that Josh Taylor isn't a bigger star in the UK. Yeah, you know, I'm not over there in the UK, so I'm not really too knowledgeable about that. I hear that he doesn't get the coverage he deserves, the publicity he deserves. I think a lot of that has to do more with him being Scottish, you know, because I feel like Joe Calzaghe, I could be wrong, but I feel like with Joe Calzaghe, it was the same way. Joe Calzaghe was a big star, but was he the biggest star in the UK? I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? My UK brethren, help me out. Help me understand. Jordan Gooden says, BT, what do you think of people saying that Robert Garcia is an overrated trainer? It's a good question. Let me see. He has Virgil Ortiz, Mikey Garcia, Ramirez. I don't know, man. I'll be honest. Look, Robert Garcia is definitely one of the better trainers out there, but I can't really get mad. I'm not really sure I can get mad at that. I feel like he's a solid trainer, but I don't think he's like a top 3 or 4 or 5 trainer. That's just my opinion. I think there's better trainers out there than Robert Garcia. I feel like when I think of Robert Garcia, I think of him in the more so in the mold of like a Abel Sanchez. You know, he's the kind of trainer who is very good at training a one particular style, but he's only going to train you to fight that style. If you ask him to do more than train a particular style, then it's not going to work out for you. That's my opinion on him. That's my perception of him. I'm not saying he's a bad trainer, but that's my opinion of him. So I'm not mad at the statement. Yeah, very. Thank you, Jesus. He's a very stubborn trainer. And sometimes I think his fighters in big fights, they tend to struggle at making adjustments because he's so set on what he wants to do, which is good. It's good to have your game plan and be confident in it. But sometimes when your game plan's not working out, you need to, you know, flip the switch and go to something different. And sometimes I think that's where he struggles. After what Canelo did to Callum Smith, I have no faith in Callum's height, wasted attribute. Yeah, he can't. Listen, he's a guy, I've said it for a long time with Callum Smith. He's someone that doesn't know how to fight tall. He might be tall. He might be a gargoyle at 168, but he don't know how to exploit that size advantage. So that's just what it is. Sidi Sunil says, Teofimo said he wants Haney next. Who wins that, bro? I think right now, if they fought, I would favor Teo. I think Devin Haney still has to develop. I think he still needs his man strength. Personally, for me, I like to see Devin Haney get with a trainer that can really teach him how to become just to get every last bit of that torque on his punches. You know, I know he can punch, but I feel like there's a bit more that can be tightened up with Devin Haney. And one thing I'll point out in particular is his balance. I think, you know, he needs a fighter that's going to improve his balance. And I know I mentioned this guy a lot, but I feel like if Devin Haney were to get with a guy like a trainer like a Sugar Hill Steward, that would take him from being a guy that has talent, you know, potential pound for pound guy. I really think Devin Haney would, if Devin Haney announced, let's say right now, right, if Devin Haney announced that he's training with Sugar Hill Steward, and let's say he got 2 or 3 training camps in with Sugar Hill Steward, then I would actually probably start favoring Devin Haney, because the things he needs. The things he needs to truly become the best Devin Haney, I don't think he'll get right now under the current circumstances. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'll be wrong. We'll see. We got a low-key YouTube legend in the building. Nordic Warrior, what's good, champ? He says Josh Taylor versus Jack Catterall is next, I think. And I agree with you. I think, you know, the Crawford fight's going to be the most discussed fight. But the most realistic fight and option for Taylor is that Catterall fight for a couple of reasons. Number one, Catterall took step-aside money so that this fight could happen. So, you know, he's the real MVP for this. So he deserves a shot at Taylor. That's number one. And number two, Josh Taylor's said for a long time he wants to bring a fight back to Scotland, to the Edinburgh Castle. So I think if he's going to be able to do that, it'll be that fight right there against Jack Catterall. So, yeah, man. Shout out to Nordic Warrior. That's what I'm saying. Carlo M, shout out to you. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand how people could watch the Prograis fight, watch the Postal fight, watch the Ramirez fight, just watch the complete skill set of Josh Taylor, and sit here and say he just lose to all these guys. Absolutely not. Like, look, someone told me, they told me recently that Josh Taylor will lose to Virgil Ortiz. Absolutely not. Josh Taylor will wax Virgil Ortiz. And I don't give a damn if it's right now or 3 fights now. You pick whenever you want it to happen. He wax Virgil Ortiz. All right? Now, Crawford, different. Well, let me see. Who else is there? I've heard people mention Mikey Garcia. He'll get retired. Who else is at 140? I think if he, funny enough, I think if Cepeda fought to the best of his abilities and believed in himself, that could be a competitive fight. I think Cepeda, believe it or not, would be a good fight for Taylor.
Cepeda should fight Ramirez next.
Huh?
Cepeda
Cepeda should fight Ramirez next.
Or Postal.
Or Postal. You see, I got a lot of comments, man. Panaroom says, could a boxing champion ever come out as bisexual or gay? Well, in the modern era, I'm surprised. I'm not actually surprised it hasn't happened yet. That's number one. But there has been, homosexual boxing champions in the past. Emil Griffith was a flamer. And he was one of the best fighters in the history of his weight class. Hall of Famer. So it is possible. That boy 26. People disregard Sugar Hill training Adonis Stevenson as a plus being in Fury's corner. Sugar Hill knows how to counter the power punchers like Wilder. Exactly. He specializes in that. They'll eat up power punchers for breakfast. So, I feel like Sugar Hill Steward would be just what the doctor ordered for Devin Haney. If it could ever happen, that would be where we need to go, Esco G says, who the fuck are you? Holy crap, you have a lot of subs. Well, hey, welcome here, man. If this is your first time, welcome here, man. Who am I? I'm the untouchable. I'm Brendan Taylor. I'm True School Sports, man. I've been here forever. I'm one of the OGs of this shit. Great channel. We come here, we talk boxing. We have a lot of fun doing it. A lot of great interviews. Just go look at the catalog. Go to popular uploads and work your way down. You'll get your answers. You'll get your answers, champ. These guys are not at Josh Taylor's level yet. I think Virgil could beat Taylor. Maybe he could, because
he said, "Look at my resume."
Maybe Virgil could in the future, with more experience. But I just think, Virgil's very good. I think Golden Boy Promotions is doing a great job. I mean, when I say great job, I'm talking about an exceptional job at matching Virgil Ortiz. They put him in the ring with good veteran fighters that are past their best, but not so past their best to where that you could say they're completely washed up. There's still very much life in these guys. Guys like Solomon and Herrera and Orozco and guys like that. And Maurice Hooker, a guy that moving up in weight, former champion, had a lot to fight for. That matched him up perfectly. But I just don't think he could beat Josh Taylor. What about Tank? Do you think Taylor smokes Tank? No, I don't think he would smoke Tank, but I'd pick him to win. I would look at that fight as a 60-40 fight in Josh Taylor's favor. Box Talk, Luis Madrid, shout out to him. He says, Mikey Garcia versus Josh Taylor. That's a fight that I think is very lopsided. Very lopsided. I'm talking like 70-30, Josh Taylor. Easy money. For a couple of reasons. Number one, Mikey Garcia has been very inactive. That's number one. Number two, Mikey Garcia, I don't think he really wants to be boxing much longer. So that's strike two. And strike three, and the most damning strike, is that Mikey Garcia's already fought welterweight. And he's going to have to come back down. He be eating really, really good. He'll have to come back down in weight. So his punches are going to be slower. He can be sluggish. So I don't know, man. I'm not really too confident about Mikey Garcia's chances in a Josh Taylor fight. Now, Mikey Garcia against Lomachenko, better fight. Make it happen. It should have happened a long time ago, but he wanted to go up and chase Earl Spence. But make sure you guys go subscribe to Box Talk, Luis Madrid. He's the king of boxing content in Arizona. He's the mecca of boxing in Arizona. So if you want to know about anything about boxing in Arizona, he's the guy to go to. Panaroom, he says, does a signing of Jake Paul to Showtime fight deal, does it cheapens the sport? Oh, does it cheapen the sport or is it a slight on real fighters? Listen, I don't think Jake Paul's bad for boxing. I don't. A lot of people think he's bad for boxing. I used to be one of them. I mean, I've said way worse things about Jake Paul than most of you guys on video, and I really feel like after talking to people in South Florida and just seeing him, I've had a change of heart when it comes to Jake Paul. I think he respects the sport. I think he respects the preparation for the sport. He's dedicated to the sport, and I can't really say he's cheapening the sport because in all reality, is he doing anything worse than what your favorite prospects are doing, going to Mexico and Colombia when they go there and they fight these nobodies we never heard of and run the record up to 4, 5, 6, 7 and 0? I don't think it's any different.
He's not ducking nobody.
He's not ducking nobody.
They ducking Demetrius Andrade though.
They're ducking they ducking Demetrius Andrade. You damn right. Adri Pennant says, True School, Riddick Bowe versus Ike Ibeabuchi. Who wins this finish? I don't know, but that'd be a good fight. Now, John, this is one of the only times you'll hear me say this. That's a competitive fight. Ike Ibeabuchi versus Riddick Bowe is a good fight. We never really got to see the best of Ike Ibeabuchi because of he went to prison. But I mean, this is a guy that he fought undefeated Chris Bird, knocked his ass out, fought David Tua in one of the best heavyweight fights ever. Beat him too. I think they broke the record for the most punches thrown in a heavyweight fight at that time. So I think Ibeabuchi's his strength, his jab. I think he'd be very much a live dog in the Riddick Bowe fight. But you already know I'm picking Riddick Bowe. Ain't nobody fucking with Riddick Bowe. Riddick Bowe beat every heavyweight you can name. I think Riddick Bowe beat all the best Riddick Bowe. I'm talking about the guy that fought Holyfield in the first fight. That Riddick Bowe can be any heavyweight, any of them. I'm banking on Virgil Ortiz going to the top. He'll be the new Canelo in a few years. You think so? Perhaps. I mean, he's already selling tickets. I was there when he fought Maurice Hooker. He sold about 10,000 plus tickets, and there's not a lot of guys in America that can sell 10,000 plus tickets. I know to my European and my British audience, that might not sound like a lot because in the UK and over there, you guys are routinely got your fighters selling 20,000 tickets. 30,000 tickets. It's a bit different here in America. It's harder for fighters to get attention because we have so many more entertainment options, and boxing isn't the #1 sport in America. So you could probably count on two hands, maybe, fighters in America who could sell 10,000 tickets. I mean, you have Canelo, and I'm talking about beyond just their hometown. But like Virgil be one of them, I think. Canelo's another one. Earl Spence, Deontay Wilder. It's few and far between. Let me see. That dude, what's good, champ? How you living? I think Josh Taylor beats anybody if he's allowed to hold 100 times in a fight without warning. So I agree with you. What do you think? Well, I mean, hey, he got a chance to hold this fight when he fought Prograis. He didn't get a chance to hold it many times, and you saw him grind it out and become a dog. Listen, personally for me, I think so highly of Josh Taylor, and I have for a while. That I don't give a damn what kind of referee you got. You can get a lenient referee or a referee that's strict. He gonna find a way to win. You got certain fighters in boxing. They might not be the fastest. They might not be the strongest. They might not hit the hardest. But there's certain fighters in boxing that just know how to win. One guy that I couldn't stand for the longest when he was fighting was Andre Ward. But you know what I can say about Andre Ward? He knows how to win. Floyd Mayweather knows how to win. Tyson Fury knows how to win. Fresh BX, what's good, champ? How you living? Good to see you. The fight makes sense for Josh Taylor to fight Crawford in front of a big crowd in Scotland. Crawford needs that big fight badly, and he needs exposure. He's so poorly promoted. I agree. That's Marcos, yeah. Speaking of dream fights, what are some of your all-time dream? Ooh, my all-time dream matches. Now we're talking. Chocolatito versus Inoue. Chocolatito versus Michael Carbajal would be some of the matchups that come to mind. Prime Riddick Bowe versus Tyson Fury would be another one. Anthony Joshua versus Holyfield would be one. Roy Jones Jr. versus Canelo at 168. Joe Calzaghe versus Canelo at 168. A lot of fights, man. A lot of fights. I'm trying to think of fighters. Marlon Starlin versus Sean Porter would be one. I think that'd be a great fight. Simon Brown versus Sean Porter. That'd be a great fight. A lot of fights, man. Ruben Crespo, what's good, champ? And by the way, shout out to all 32 of you here. Make sure you guys smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Let me know what city, what state, what continent you're watching from, and I'll give you a shout out. Super chat, all that good stuff. We here, man. I'm taking some time out because I got the time. Some days I don't got time, but guess what? Today I got time. Prince Nassim Hamed versus Tank would be a good one. I would love that fight. Two big punchers. Two very flamboyant fighters, too. I'm sure the entrances would be good. You'd get a good crowd because, Nassim Hamed was one of those guys that was able to attract the casual fans. And the same thing with Tank. Shout out to my man James Patterson out there in Edinburgh, Scotland. Scotland, stand the hell up. Right now, Scotland making some major waves in boxing right now. You got Josh Taylor flying the flag high for Scottish boxing. I haven't sat down and thought about my pound for pound list, but he's definitely my top 3 pound for pound. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. If Taylor moves up, he can force the WBO to call for a mandatory purse bid and force Carver over to Scotland or to vacate the belt instead. He can. So, Taylor's in a great position. Who knows, man? Maybe Taylor can fight the winner of Pacquiao versus Spence. We'll see, man. We'll see. I know Taylor's talked about fighting Manny Pacquiao because that's one of his favorite fighters. And I was joking around with my boy Johnny the other night. We were at the MGM Grand chilling, and I told him, I said, look, I want Johnny, we're at the site of where Josh Taylor's gonna retire Manny Pacquiao when they fight. And he laughed it off, but I would love to see Josh Taylor fight Manny Pacquiao one day. Lee McGregor, yes, my boy just fought him. My boy Angelo Leo, the great Angelo Leo, the most underrated fighter in boxing today. Angelo Leo, yeah, he was world champion, but they didn't give him his respect. Angelo Leo coming June 19th, I heard him, Angelo told me, and I heard from Angelo himself and many people I know in boxing that the work between him and Lee McGregor was very, very good work. It was very solid work. Lee McGregor, he's a guy that's beat some good fighters already. He beat, I believe he has a win over against Michael McKinson, right? Was it Michael McKinson? Is that the same weight class? Who was Lee McGregor's biggest win? I think it was Michael McKinson, but you guys can correct me. But yeah, Lee's a solid fighter, and I think one day Angelo and him will meet in the pros, and that'll be a good fight. Dream matchups: Hagler versus Hopkins, Hagler versus Mayweather versus Whitaker. That'd be a good fight. I would like to see Floyd Mayweather, 130 Floyd Mayweather versus 130 Lomachenko. That'd be a good fight. Mayweather versus Leonard. My main man, 50 grand, Wayne Robinson, he says, love your commentary, no racial bias. Nah, man, we can't have that. We can't have no racial biases. Personally, for me, I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to give it to you raw. I don't give a fuck about race. The only race I care about is on a NASCAR track. The only race I care about is in the damn Olympics when Usain Bolt is sprinting for Jamaica. That's the only race I care about because I love everybody. I'm American and I'm a proud American, but my favorite fighter in the history of boxing, is from Nicaragua, and that's Cholatito. One of my favorite fighters right now is from Scotland, Josh Taylor. You gotta love fighters. You gotta love the fighters no matter where they come from. If you can fight, you can fight. If you're nice, you're nice. It doesn't matter where you're from. All I'm saying, just my opinion. I personally think, I think the best fighters in the world are from America, but that's only my opinion. When Taylor moves up, he will be a way stronger puncher. And I think people are actually overlooking that. He's going to be a stronger puncher, and he won't be as sluggish at the weight. and we're actually going to be able to see the full skill set of Josh Taylor. Shout out to you, Bon Kui out there in Chicago, Chirac. Yeah. Mikey Garcia never fought solid competition. Is that who you're talking about, Carlo? Toko Chu Mikbaru says, hey, do you think Errol Spence should insist on VADA testing against Manny Pacquiao? Yes. I'm gonna leave it at that. Yes. I think Manny Pacquiao beat Errol Spence though. Mayweather never fought a good black boxer. Nobody like Chavez Sr., Pernell Whitaker, Tito Trinidad, and so on. Yeah, that's one of the main criticisms of Floyd. They say that Floyd never. Everybody says Floyd's this great boxer, but he never fought the guys that were the best technical fighters in his weight divisions. And it's a fair point. He didn't fight those guys, so it would have been interesting. It would have been interesting to see if how Floyd would have fared against guys like Winky Wright or Paul Williams or Paul Spadafora and guys like that. Especially a guy like Paul Spadafora, because he had that infamous sparring session. Paul Spadafora was a brilliant technical fighter, had some of the best conditioning you'll ever see in the 130-pound division, and he was a guy, being southpaw, he might give Floyd some fits. Taylor said he's taking the mandatory for Spence. That'd be amazing. I'm gonna tell you this, guys. Look, I like Josh Taylor so much, and I really for me, in meeting Josh, I was already a huge fan of him. Josh Taylor was already in my top 5 favorite fighters, but after meeting him the night he won Undisputed, just how cool he was with us, he has a fan for life in me. So if he does make that fight happen with Jack Catterall and at the Edinburgh Castle in Scotland, I'm not gonna make no promises because that's gonna cost me a pretty penny to get out there, but I'm gonna try to make my way out there to the Edinburgh Castle. I think that'd be a cool experience. What you guys think? Should True School come to Scotland? I've seen that fight plenty of times. That's one of my favorite fights with Floyd, the Diego Corrales fight. Murdered him, killed him. But my favorite Floyd fight for sure. My favorite fight for sure with Floyd, believe it or not, and most people don't even know this, but my favorite Floyd Mayweather fight is the Philip Ndu fight. I love that fight. Michael Ryan Pitts asks, where is Marcos? Marcos pass? He's in the bathroom. You think he's in the bathroom? How you know Marcos, Michael? Hey, Marcos, somebody asked for you.
Who?
My friend Michael Ryan Pitts.
Michael Ryan Pitts. Oh, Michael Ryan. He follows me. I followed him back.
He's from Alabama. That's my boy. He's from Alabama. Country boy. I love Michael.
Shout out to Michael, man. God bless you, brother.
Yeah. Hey, shout to Marcos Pass. Right now Marcos is he's out here training in Vegas. I'm gonna put you all on game. But you know what? For the next 2 to 3 minutes, fuck these other fights. I'm gonna talk about my boy Marcos Pass. Let's talk about Marcos Pass for a second. So we got my boy Marcos Pass. He you wanna come sit with me?
No.
He ain't gonna come sit with me. Marcos, he had a 45, 55 amateur career?
Yep.
45, 55 amateur career. Long Island, New York, lightweight prospect. He ain't fought yet. There's some things in the works. I can't really say too much about them because they haven't been secured yet, but there's some things in the works. He might be making his pro debut on one of the upcoming cards. And just a really good fighter, man. Very disciplined. I'm going to the gym to watch him train today. I haven't seen him spar yet, but I can just tell, looking at the snap of his punches, that he's got that power that gets your attention immediately, and he goes to the body well. So I'm looking forward to seeing Marcos make his pro debut and make his transition in the professional ranks. I want y'all to remember that name because I'm telling you in advance who he is. I'm telling you that he's going to be a factor in boxing, and yeah, man.
And make sure to follow me on all social media.
All social media.
So Instagram's MarCospaz1, like with the number 1 at the end. And Twitter is the same thing, but except without the 1 and instead of 516. So I'd appreciate all the support. I always make sure to follow back the people that support me, and I appreciate it. And make sure to follow True School Sports once again. You know, always supporting the fighters, always looking out to cover boxing and the latest news and keep you guys updated. So make sure to support them as well.
Absolutely, man. Some notable. I'll move on from Marcos in a second, but some notable facts about Marcos. He fought 2 fighters you guys would know in the amateurs. He fought Josue Vargas. You beat him, right? You beat Josue?
No, I didn't.
You didn't beat Josue? Okay, so he fought Josue Vargas. He didn't beat Josue, and he went 1-1 against Richardson Hitchens. Right? No?
I don't remember exactly what it was. I think with him, I fought him once. I'm not too sure. That was quite a while back.
Oh, okay. But he's been in there with guys, so it's just that's what it is. M2M, okay, he got quite a few. He says, yo, dude, I'm here in Scotland. You can come, stay with me. I live 10 minutes from the castle. If you come to Edinburgh, let me know. I would love to go to Edinburgh. Because I remember when I went to England, man. I went to the train station one time. I took one of those bullet trains, and I remember I saw on the board it said Edinburgh. I said Edinburgh, Glasgow, Liverpool. So I want to go, man. Josh Taylor. Now that I think about it, Josh Taylor might have been the first Scottish person I've ever met in person. Because I'm in Miami. We don't really have any Scottish people. So I like the Scottish people, and I always tend to have good interactions with them on YouTube. So. Prime Roy Jones versus Prime Sergio Martinez. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He has a Canelo body type. Who has a Canelo body type? Who has a Canelo body type, Pamaroon? Let me know in the comments. We have the comedy festival here in Edinburgh every year. Okay, man. Hopefully they plan the fight around that. I'd love to come out, just see what the whole Scottish culture is like, and just go somewhere new, man. I like to travel. Do you think Errol Spence will demand Olympic-style drug testing against Manny Pacquiao? No, I don't, because I think Errol Spence is gonna want to be on some stuff too. I could be wrong. You guys could correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Errol Spence at one point? I could be wrong, but wasn't he suspended for one of the rankings because he didn't want to take VADA testing? I could be wrong, but I feel like maybe I'm getting it confused with somebody else. But I just know, look, when it comes to those big fights like Pacquiao versus Spence, that's gonna be, we're talking about 10, 20, $30 million payday type of fights, pay-per-view, almost anything goes. Anything can happen as far as drug testing, what isn't allowed, what is allowed, and what isn't allowed. Almost anything at that point is permissible. So don't be surprised with anything. But no, to answer your question, no, I don't. Mad Chad, boxing and sports. Josh Taylor better stay at 140. Boots or Virgil will bust him up at 147. Absolutely not. How can you say that? I like Jerron Ennis, and I think if we're talking about pure skill set, he's the most skilled welterweight on planet Earth right now. But Virgil Ortiz hasn't done anything. He hasn't fought anybody. He hasn't, and there's questions about his chin dating all the way back to the amateurs. So we gonna see. Virgil Ortiz, he'll get waxed by Josh Taylor. I'll put money on that fight. He'll get waxed. Virgil's too straightforward for Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor will counter him the same way he countered Ramirez. True School, Evander Holyfield versus Ike Ibeabuchi. Who wins that fantasy matchup? That's a great fight. I love that fight between those two. I would say Holyfield wins that fight, not by knockout, but by majority decision. I think that might be a fight where Holyfield gets clipped. Maybe he gets hurt. And yeah, man, I think his speed and durability will be the difference in that fight. Do you think Mike Tyson can beat any fighter in the top 10? The top 10 at heavyweight? If Mike Tyson fought like a Dave Allen or a Char or someone like that, I think he could beat those guys potentially if he trained and it was like a 6-rounder. Big up, BT. Just wanted to say hi. It's time for bet. Shout out to my man out there in France. Official Scorecard Boxing and Science. Make sure you guys please go subscribe to him. He's putting a lot of effort and hard work into giving you guys great breakdown videos. I love to see it. Jesus M says, Virgil, too much volume and pressure and body shots for Taylor. Yeah. They said the same thing about Ramirez. And you saw how that worked out. You know, Ramirez ran into counters all night and got dropped. The same thing will happen to Virgil. And personally, I don't think Virgil is as durable. I don't think Virgil is as durable as Ramirez. You know, I saw Virgil when he got hit by Maurice Hooker, who's not even a true 147 pounder. I saw Virgil. I saw a lot of those shots getting his attention. You know, I saw a lot of those shots hurting Virgil. So I'm just saying, man. To me, when I look at Virgil, he's a hell of a fighter. I think he's slightly more technical than Ramirez, but I think they're gonna have this. I think they have the same strengths and the same strengths and same weaknesses. Virgil and Ramirez have them both. The difference is that Virgil's punching power is a notch and a half higher than Ramirez, but that's just my opinion. And yeah, I agree. Marco's past does have a Canelo type of body, but you know, unlike Canelo, he worked for his body. He didn't go to Mexico. He didn't go to Mexico. He didn't have the tacos. Yeah. Who is the next true boxing megastar? Right now, I mean, there's a lot of guys that I think could take the mantle. You know, if I had to bet money right now, I would say Gervonta Davis would be the guy for me, for a couple of reasons. Number one, he had a lot of money put on him, put behind him young as a young fighter, so that always helps. He's not reached a pay-per-view level. He's got a big following outside of boxing. He has a fan-friendly style that people, both casual and hardcore, can appreciate. So to me, he'd be a safe bet if I'm talking about the current crop of fighters. No problem, official. But yeah, it's your boy BT, the Untouchable. You know, just chilling. Random boxing talk here on a Tuesday. You know, I got a very busy week ahead of me. You know, I think tomorrow, I'm not sure yet. I haven't confirmed it yet. But tomorrow, I might be going to see the undisputed lightweight champion tomorrow. If you know who that is, I might be going to see him tomorrow down at a gym, Teofimo Lopez. But I haven't confirmed it yet, so hopefully that happens. Tonight we're going to a gym. Me, Marcos, Angelo Leo, we're going to a gym tonight. You know, and who knows who we'll run into tonight. I'm going to the Devin Haney press conference and weigh-in Thursday and Friday. Saturday night we have a whole smorgasbord of boxing. And yeah. Gervonta has never fought a top 10 fighter. Nakatani, Loma, Haney, Kome, Fortuna, Tio. Gervonta is not high level. Shakur and Haney will beat Davis. I disagree. I think I don't know. We got to see him in one of those fights. But I think Gervonta Davis has superstar qualities, and I think he's a fantastic fighter. King Hassan, salute BT. Tank is the future of boxing, marketing-wise. In Baltimore, he's a legend, and he's friends with all the mainstream rappers. He is. And you may think, a lot of you guys may think that's stupid, but that goes a long way with getting you fans, as stupid as it is. I had a nice conversation the other day with Angelo Leo. I was telling him about how to market yourself outside of boxing, and I was telling him that he should have his favorite rapper walk him out to the ring, which is forgot who it was. Trippie Redd. Yeah, Trippie Redd. He likes Trippie Redd a lot. So I said, if Trippie Redd walked Angelo Leo out to the ring, his following going to increase exponentially. Devin Haney better than Gervonta Davis. I can see that, but I really think he's a fantastic fighter, but I'm still waiting to see him develop. Devin Haney is better than y'all think. No, I know how good Devin Haney is. You ain't telling me nothing. I know how good he is, but he ain't listen. We know the potential was there, but he ain't put it together under the lights yet. Pamela Room says, where does your passion for your life's pursuit, all things boxing, comes from? It's very inspiring. Thank you, man. All right. Well, you asked, so I'll tell you the story. So a lot of people don't even know this about me. And hell, some of my friends that I'm staying with probably don't even know what's about me because I don't tell the story too often. But like, I've always been a boxing fan. Like the first boxing match I ever watched was when I was 6 years old. It was against it was Bernard Hopkins versus Tito Trinidad. Great fight. So like when I was growing up as a kid, I was what you would call a casual fan. You know, I'd watch the big fights as a kid. You know, I'd watch Pacquiao, Mayweather, Cotto, Hopkins. I watched a couple of Calzaghe fights. I followed boxing a little bit when I was a kid, but I wouldn't say that it was my favorite sport when I was younger. My favorite sport when I was younger was probably baseball. But everything changed for me when I was 19 years old. That's where everything really changed for me. I'm 26 now. When I was 19 years old, I was going through a lot of things in my life personally, a lot of things internally. I had like, believe it or not, I had like some suicidal thoughts when I was like 19 years old, and when I got those thoughts, I knew at that point in time I needed a way to like get a release, you know, just get a release because it's a long story. I wrote about it in my book, but anyway, long story short. I started boxing to cope with some things I was dealing with internally, and then it changed my life. And then not too long after that, I started covering boxing, and that's what it was. And that's what it was, man. So that's the long and the short. That's the short of it. Boxing saved my life, so that's where it comes from. That's why when I do these videos and I say things like, "Well, boxing's very personal to me," it's very personal because it saved my life. And it's changed my life for the better. You know, most of the best people that I met in my life, my friends are through boxing. I mean, even right now, like I'll give you an example. I'm staying with my boy Johnny, who I met many years ago through Instagram and Facebook, and I'm staying at his house right now. And like, you know, I'm here with my boy Marcos Pass. We stay in the same room.
And it's crazy to think that the way I met Johnny's the same way True School met him as well.
Yeah.
We met him through Instagram. Like, we didn't know each other in person, but we knew him for a good 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever.
Yeah.
And it just came to fruition that we all, you know, are involved in boxing. Me as a fighter, Brendan, you know, covering all the media, and Johnny's more involved than people think, man.
Yeah,
Johnny's well connected. If you want to know about boxing, ask Johnny.
Ask Johnny. Johnny put me talk to me about boxing sometimes. So, well, I say all this to say like I've known Marcos for about maybe like 8 days now. Marcos like one of my best friends.
Yep.
I feel like I've known Marcos for 20 years.
And the same goes for me for True School. 100%.
Yeah. Like I was telling somebody the other day, it's like if it came down to it, I'd punch someone in the mouth with Marcos. But yeah, boxing saves lives. So to answer your question, yeah, I was dealing with a lot of you could call it depression and suicidal thoughts when I was 19, and boxing I went to Canelo's boxing gym. I remember I was in Texas at the time, moved back home, and then I walked up those steps because Canelo's boxing gym in Dania, it's like in a loft. So to get to the gym, you got to walk up these steps. And I'll never forget the day I walked up those steps and I walked in the gym, and it changed my life forever. So yeah, that's the short of it. By the way, for those of you who've been asking for Pops, the reason he hasn't been in my videos is because I'm in Las Vegas. He's back home in South Florida. So you guys can expect Pops back on the channel starting June 2nd, June 3rd, somewhere around there when I'm back home.
Pops is a G.
Pops is a G. Shout out to Pops.
You don't play.
Nah. Official says, keep your eyes on Jesse Bam Rodriguez from Robert Garcia's gym. He won't be a superstar, but he's an amazing talent at 108 pounds. Oh, I know about Jesse Bam Rodriguez. He fought on one of the top rank cards in the bubble, and he's packing punch in both hands. I'm talking right hand and left hand. He's getting you out of there.
And he signed with one of True School's favorites promoters, with Taking Promotions.
Oh, that's right, Taking Promotions.
Honda.
Shout out to Mr. Honda, Taking Promotions, the GOAT, the real GOAT, not Al Heyman. You know, much respect to the brother Al Heyman. I love Al Heyman, but it's about Mr. Honda. Now, you may be saying, BT, why do you love Mr. Honda? Why do you love Taking Promotions so much? And I like Mr. Honda, and I like Taking Promotions so much because that's who promoted Chocolatito in Japan. So he's TBE to me, Mr. Honda. Yeah, Connor Ben's out here in Vegas right now. I'm hoping to run into him while I'm here. Thank you, Preacher David. That's a real story. I mean, it's a very condensed version of the story, but it's you know, I don't want to get too far deep into it, but that's a story. Do you think boxing is dead? The interest just doesn't seem to be there among people in the media or on the internet. To answer your question, no, absolutely not. If boxing was dead, you wouldn't have YouTube channels that could get millions of views off of videos of these fighters. So that's number one. Number two, everyone knows that in boxing, when you put a big fight together in boxing, and it's a fight that the public wants to see, there's nothing in sports that can beat it. And I watch a lot of sports. I love sports. I mean, I love baseball, I love basketball, I love hockey. I like tennis, you know, a little bit. But nothing compares to when you get a big-time championship fight, you know, two killers going at it, duking it out. Because it takes a special person to step in that ring, and it takes even quadruple more of a special person to fight at that level under those circumstances, under that kind of pressure, under them lights. So, absolutely not. Boxing's still here to stay. When Errol Spence fights Manny Pacquiao, it's going to be a momentous occasion. When Tyson Fury fights Deontay Wilder in a third fight at the Allegiant Stadium, we're going to sit here and say it's a waste of time, it don't mean shit, but it's going to be a momentous occasion. So boxing ain't going nowhere. But, you know, people were saying, if you guys go back and you watch documentaries of Muhammad Ali when they did interviews with him, they were saying in the 1960s that boxing was dead. They were saying in the 60s that boxing was dead. And it's still going strong. So no, boxing ain't going nowhere. Boxing here to stay. Look how global boxing is now. Has there ever been a time in the history of boxing where we have so many fighters from so many countries doing their thing? I mean, look, we got Josh Taylor from Scotland, Gallo Estrada from Mexico, we got Lomachenko from the Ukraine. We got Majmov from Uzbekistan, Inoue from Japan, Nakatani from Japan, Chocolatito from Nicaragua, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury from the UK, holding it down proudly for the UK. A lot of people, man, like Canelo. I don't like Canelo, but Canelo. Come on, man, boxing ain't dead. I was just there, and I saw it in person. I saw 73,000 motherfuckers packed like sardines to the Cowboy Stadium to watch Canelo fight, and you know it was like a damn Cinco de Mayo celebration. You know, men brought their children. You know, there was hella bad bitches there. Listen, boxing is not going nowhere, man. The short of it is boxing going nowhere. It's one of the original sports, and whether people know it or not, everybody's favorite sport is boxing. I'm gonna steal Max Kellerman. I'm gonna steal Max Kellerman's quote. Max Kellerman once said this, and I really liked it. He said, "If you were outside, right, and just imagine this in your mind. If you go outside." And let's just imagine in your mind that there's four corners, and on each corner they're playing a sport. So on one corner, let's say they're playing baseball. Another corner they're playing basketball, and another corner they're playing like soccer or football. And then on the other corner, there's a fight going on. It's boxing. What do you think people are gonna stop to watch? What do you think they're gonna stop to watch? They're gonna stop to watch the fight. So everybody's favorite sport is boxing. That's what I'm saying. Wait, really? Milo Grogan says, Canelo just had a televised wedding in Mexico. Boo Boo Andre should have crashed the wedding. # serial stalker. He should have did that. That's what I'm saying. And shout out to Keenan KTV, you know, a massive channel, great guy, been a friend of the channel for many a years. He said, just because UFC is popular doesn't take away anything from the pot. It just adds to the fun of combat sports. And I agree with that. Like, look, I'm not a big MMA guy. I mean, I know the names, I know the stars, you know, all that stuff. But boxing has its own. I've always had the belief in the philosophy that boxing has its own audience. MMA has its own audience. So that's what it is. I know it's you, Pete. He said it's Pete from Dallas. Of course I say Canelo. Of course. I knew it was you, Pete. Shout out to Pete. You know, that's the man right there. You know, I got mad love for my guy Pete in Dallas. You know, Pete, Felipe, all them. Great people, man. I just saw Pete briefly the other day. It was great seeing him for like the 5 seconds that I saw you, Pete. He's the biggest Canelo fan in the world. This guy's gone to like 15 Canelo fights. So shout out to Pete. How's life, BT? I want to really go to Las Vegas for the big fight. Well, I'm going to answer your first question. Life is absolutely exceptional, man. I mean, everything's not perfect, but I'm happy, man. And, I'm here in Las Vegas. I'm getting a chance to spend time every day with great people, be around the sport that I love. In just a matter of hours, I'll be going to the gym with Marcos Paz and Angelo Leo to watch some training and probably get some interviews and meet some other fighters. So I'm excited about that. Tomorrow I'm probably gonna watch some sparring. I'm going to weigh-ins and press con for Linares Haney. There's a lot of good things going on, man, in my life. I'm happy. I'm happy. Brother, what glasses brand are these? These are actually Nike glasses. They're Nike glasses. Why, you like them? Do you think judges affect how popular the sport could become? No, I don't, because if you look back and you look at the whole history of boxing, and I challenge anybody to go do this. Go look back to the days of the 1950s and the 40s and the 30s. You can go all the way back to the days of the Italian mob with the likes of Frankie Carbo. Frankie Carbo. If you don't know who Frankie Carbo is, I would advise that you go Google who he is. Corruption has always been part of boxing, and unpopular opinion, corruption is actually part of the allure of boxing. So I think, believe it or not, I think corruption actually adds to boxing. As funny, as crazy as it is to say, because think about it. Would you guys get as excited for the end of a boxing fight if they had open scoring? No. I was just watching a fight the other day. I was watching Johnny Bumpus versus Marlon Starling, and they did open scoring for that fight, and it was a good fight, but it wasn't as exciting. Part of the allure of boxing is the fact that there's so many odds, and the corruption in some ways, as much as we don't like it and complain about it, it adds to the sport. That's just my opinion. That's my point of view. You can give me yours in the comments. I can see your life is exceptional. My man's got new glasses. Nah, these aren't new, man. I've had these glasses since like last July. But I have 3 pairs of glasses. So the thicker ones, I normally like rotate them every couple of days. I wear different pairs of glasses, but I just been wearing these a lot. Are you living in Vegas, man? Now, damn, man, I'm legit waiting for the Pacquiao tickets. I'm not living in Vegas, but I've been staying here for the last 7 or 8 days with a friend of mine. Shout out to Johnny. I've been here for like 7 or 8 days, and I'll probably be back here in the middle of next month for the Nakatani versus Lomachenko. I'm gonna come here with a big Japanese flag and a Nakatani headband. We come here to support our boy Nakatani next month. I want to go to that fight. So yeah. Not living here, but I know a lot of people in Vegas, and it's somewhere that I have to come to a lot, because if I want to continue to do this, gotta be in Vegas more often. Nah, look, I promise you. Look, hold on. Look, I don't know if y'all can see. Look, hold on. Can y'all see the look? Hold on. I don't know if y'all can see it. F it. The Nike logo's on the side of the glasses, so. They're not Ray-Bans. I got the Nike glasses, and I have a Van Houston watch, but everybody always thinks the Van Houston watch is a Rolex or a Breitling. If there was one thing you could eliminate from the sport of boxing to help it, what would it be? That's a good question. What would I eliminate? I would probably eliminate there being so much politics between networks and promoters. I would like to eliminate boxing being... One problem I have with boxing is the lack of organization, because it affects the big fights happening. So I would like for boxing to have some sort of, like fighters association or like a players union of some sorts, to where the fighters can get taken care of, and to where maybe like a competition committee or something like that. I would say that, I would like boxing to have some sort of competition committee in place, to where we're able to get the best fights, and that we don't allow cherry picks of a certain degree. Another thing I like to get rid of in boxing is ring card girls not being in the ring. I went to the damn Virgil Ortiz versus Bernie Sooker fight, and they had the ring card girls walking outside the ring. So that gotta go. You know, ring card girls are COVID masks on, or ring card girls walking outside the ring. We're not having that. You know. Nakatani is a strong semi-warrior, not fake samurai like. Hey, why do you guys gotta hate on Floyd, man? Floyd's a great fighter. Floyd, a hell of a fighter. I'm actually I want to see him go there and train, cause I'm hoping I get a chance to watch him train in person before I leave.
Floyd made smart investments.
That's right. Floyd made smart investments. Yeah, Sam. If you ever come out here for the Pacquiao fight, I'm gonna be in Vegas for that fight. I don't know if I'm going to the fight, but I'm gonna be in Vegas for it. So if you come out here, let me know, man. I'd love to meet you and do a video with you, champ. Do you think Kwame Brown should sign up for Triller Fight Club? Yes. You know, and it's funny you mentioned Kwame Brown because, you know, I'm a huge Charlotte fan. You know, he played for the Hornets when they were the Bobcats, and I hated Kwame Brown as a player. He was trash. But he's been on everybody's necks recently, going off on Stephen A. Smith and all these people. You know, I love to see it. You know, Kwame Brown has become respected amongst everybody recently. Doodoo Andre. Hey, yo, Pete, tell your boy Canelo to stop ducking Demetrius Andre. He's ducking him. What do you think about MTK Global? They seem to be putting pressure on their own journalists, Kugan Cassius and trainer Mark Tibbs. Daniel Kananen is like the modern day Frankie Carbo. Yeah, man. It looks like he is the modern day Frankie Carbo. You know, and he's over here. You know, I don't want to speak too much on him because you never know, but like MTK Global, as far as them as a boxing entity, you know, I think for the most part, it seems like they do a good job for their fighters. Their fighters are always involved in big fights, and they're getting good opportunities to push their careers forward. So I can't hate on MTK Global. They're doing the right things for their fighters. As far as the other stuff, we'll see, man. Well, I don't know about none of the other stuff. No new info from me about Verdejo. I haven't heard anything new about it yet. That's what I'm saying. Homie got the swag with the glasses, mathematician glasses, that algebra glasses, respect. Yes, man, I got the swag. I got the $1 million mouthpiece. I look good. I can talk. We coming, baby. It's the year of the untouchable. The year of El Intocable. Bilal Moshni. I don't know if I'm saying your name right.
Every year is the year of the untouchable.
The year of the untouchable. Love from Scotland. Shout out to you in Scotland, man. TBE Boxing, what's good, champ? He says, big up yourself, BT. I see you making a lot of boxing moves lately. You're a traveler. Now you are always on the road. Yes, man. I've been on the road a lot. You know, it's been... Hey, what's today's date? Johnny?
I got no clue. I think it's like the 25th.
The 25th?
Yeah.
All right. I've been gone from South Florida for... I've been gone from South Florida for 20 days, almost 3 weeks. So, yeah, man, it's been a lot of traveling. I'm not going to lie to you. I was getting a bit homesick about a week ago when I was in LA. And I'm not as homesick now as I was earlier, but I am still homesick. Just a tad bit homesick. You know, I love South Florida. But, you know, a man's got to do what a man's got to do. So, we're out here in Vegas. I want to see Boo Boo Andre versus Eubank Jr. Eddie needs to do more for Boo Boo. I agree. I think he should do more for Boo Boo. You know, tomorrow or this week, I don't know if it's tomorrow. No, it's Thursday. Thursday, I'm going to the Devin Haney press conference. So if Eddie Hearn is there, which I think he will be, I have a lot of questions from Mr. Eddie Hearn about Demetrius Andre. Thank you, man. For those of you who don't know, this is the Edgar Berlanga shirt. It's Edgar Berlanga. It's half Berlanga, half monster. And right here it says, I'm a fucking monster. I'm a fucking monster! Oh, man. Are you missing Pops? Bring big man out there. Yeah, he can't leave South Florida right now, but the plan is very soon. I want to bring him out here for one of these big fights. You know, we took Pops to Kissimmee, Florida for the Berlanga fight, and he was, you know, people were buying him drinks. You know, he was the people's champion for real. People were buying him drinks. He was buying people drinks. They was giving him hugs. You know, I can't imagine what Pops would be like at a big time Vegas fight. Yo, Johnny, what do you think Pops would be like at a big time Las Vegas fight? He would go nuts, right? Oh my. Let me see. El what? Intocable? What that? Intocable means the untouchable in Spanish. So El Intocable. That's the untouchable in Spanish. Yo soy intocable. True School Sports, stay on Eddie's neck. That's the plan, man. You know, tomorrow, Thursday, we're looking to go to that press conference and ruffle some feathers, man. I'm ruffling all the feathers. I want all the smoke. We want to know why Eddie Hearn isn't pressing for that Demetrius Andre Canelo fight. You know, I want to know. Bob has Bud problems. Al has Gary problems. Eddie has Boo Andre problems. You know, every promoter has some sort of problem with their fighters. Slotello says go to Floyd versus Logan. Oh yeah, I'm going to that fight. I'm going to that fight too. I'll be covering that fight. Don't you worry. British fans love you. You're getting famous. Yeah, man. I gotta go. I gotta go out to the UK, man, because the British subscribers always show so much support, so much love, and you know, I don't know what fight yet, but you know, when my money's right and when the time is right, I do want to go to the UK again because there was a lot more of the country that I have to go see. But it's your boy BT, the untouchable, True School Sports Empire. You know, we're already over an hour in. I don't have any plans. You know, we ain't going to the gym. Yo, Johnny, what time is it right now? What time is it right now? 4:40. It's 4:40 right now, so we ain't going to the gym for another about 2 hours or so. You know, we ain't going to the gym for another 2 hours or so. So I got time. You know, most times I'm in a rush, but today I got time. So anything y'all want to talk about, it don't even gotta be about boxing. You can ask me anything about me, whatever you want to talk about. I'm here. Do you think boxing would be less complicated if there was only one world title in each division? I am tired of all these multiple champions like Canelo and Pacquiao. Yes, it would be, but that's not going to happen because we reached the point of no return in boxing many, many years ago when other sanctioning bodies got legitimized. And look, I'm going to make a bold prediction, and you guys can take it and do whatever you want with it as you please. I truly believe the next 25 to 30 years in boxing, in the next 25 to 30 years in boxing, I believe that the IBO will become a legitimate title. All right? It will become a legitimate title. So I believe in about 20 to 25 years, if a fighter wants to become undisputed, he's going to have 5 belts. Sam So says, damn right, you got to go to the UK. I'm still owed that Nando's. Oh, damn, I forgot about that. Thanks for reminding me. I do owe you that Nando's. Shout out to Nando's, man. I like Nando's. Are you aware that Conor Ben speaks fluent Spanish? He does. Conor Ben speaks better Spanish than me. That's a fact. I'll definitely be visiting gyms in the UK when I go next time. More of the gyms. I mean, I went to gyms the last time. I went to like 3 gyms, but I'm trying to go to like 10 at least. Wiggity, 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 wiggity split. What's good, champ? He says, True School. Oh my God. Brody, what's up? What's up, champ? How you living? Yeah. The untouchable. We here, man. Talking boxing. Will you go to the UFC gym in Las Vegas? That's the Performance Institute. We drove by there the other day. Yeah, that's been a dream of mine. You know, as far as British boxing goes, and where I want to go to a fight at Wembley Stadium. I want to go to the Repton Boxing Club. I want to go visit and go watch a fight at York Hall. Those are all the dreams, and we're gonna fulfill it. We're gonna fulfill those dreams. Just give it time. You know, we're gonna keep pressing. You know, the views will go up, subs will go up. Things will just get better as they've gotten better over the years. It's funny too because I was watching a video of myself. My friend and I, my boy Johnny, he pulled up this video from 2017 where I was talking. Man, I used to be trash. I've gotten a lot better talking. I really improved. Milo Grogan says City Boxing on Sammy Davis Jr. Drive. I'm going there. I think I'm going there tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think I should be going there. Shout out to everyone here, man. We here just getting in some good boxing talk. Ronnie Rios versus MJ Akhmadaliev. I think it's a bit of a cherry pick, honestly. That's just my opinion. 1.6. H Money was good, champ. Hey, H Money, Mr. The Zone. Yo, one of my favorite channels. You know, I got the belt right here, but you know, he got a belt too. He got a belt too. H Money got the belt. I gotta listen. I'm gonna give H Money the title as well because I've been watching these clips that H Money on Barbershop Conversation. And H Money, he's had their foot on their necks. He's got the LDBC in their feelings because, you know, I remember clearly H Money used to very much be on the side of Deontay Wilder. He used to interact with Deontay Wilder, all that stuff. But Deontay Wilder has lied to him in more ways than one. So he's had his foot on the necks. I mean, I've really been enjoying the back and forths. He's got 78 Sports threatening to shoot him, you know, and you got all these guys emotional. But you know, I respect H Money a lot because you know, H Money and we had a bit of a you know, I don't want to call it a beef, but a problem last year, and we squashed it as men, and I forgave him, and I've H Money, he's gotten more focused on just talking boxing, and when he talks boxing, he knows the sport. He's a smart guy. He's got a good eye for comparing fighters' styles. So it's just good to see. It's good to see the place he's at now, and I'm really enjoying his content. Shout out to him. By the way, guys, for any of you guys that want to stay in touch with me outside of YouTube, the best way to stay in touch with me, if you have an Instagram, is to follow me on Instagram at justakidfromdania. My Instagram account could be found on my About section. If you go on my channel and click the About section, you'll see a little Instagram logo. Just click on that. It'll take you right to my page, and you know, you can follow me there and message me. And I'm always on Instagram, so I'll get back to you. H Money, I was on your stream with the British girl who kicked off. Let me know when you're in London. I'll take you to David Hayes' gym in Vauxhall and Dylan White's gym in Brixton. You mean Miguel's gym in Brixton? My boy Isaac Chamberlain used to train there. I want to go to all those gyms, man. You know, when I'm in the UK, you guys will know a month in advance. This time I'm going to plan it out a lot better and go there with a lot more money in my pocket. So, yeah, man. H Money, you know what? I don't really say this about too many people on the YTBC, but H Money is a legend. Yes, he's definitely a legend. Cause he's giving us classic moment after classic moment. Just a kid from Akron. Oh, H Money. It's funny you say it's Haney time because I didn't even tell you. I don't know if you heard what I said earlier, but I'm not going to the fight. But I'm going to the Devin Haney Linares weigh-in and press conference. So we're gonna go in there and talk to Devin Haney himself if we can. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think Berlanga versus Gongora would be an amazing fight, but I can't see Top Rank Boxing and his manager Keith Connolly putting him in there with Berlanga right now. Berlanga's still too green. Berlanga's got a lot to learn. Berlanga, you know, he got a lot to learn, man. Berlanga still wet behind the ears when it comes to boxing. Major Key Boxing, what's good, champ? Glenn, yeah. Major Key, make sure you go subscribe to Glenn. Where are you going to watch the fight? Do they have big screens? I'll probably just watch it here at Johnny's house again, like I did this past weekend. You know, I watched it this past weekend. With I was live for the Taylor fight. We had Angelo Leo on the stream right next to me, talking the whole fight. You know, so I'll probably, if I don't go to the fight this weekend, which I may or may not, it depends. If I don't, I'll be going live because Donaire is also fighting Gubali, and I really want to see that fight. You know, I want to see that fight when it's happening. So Carlos Gongora is the 168 Errol Spence. Yeah, perhaps. BT, Josh Taylor is the next Joe Calzaghe. I agree. I think Josh Taylor is Joe Calzaghe with sharper punches and more punching power. Do you travel outside of the USA? I've only gone outside of America once. I went outside of America in 2019. I went to the UK for like a couple weeks. Honestly, if I had more money, I would probably go I would travel more outside of America. But right now, listen, I'm enjoying traveling around America. It's very easy for me to travel around America. International travel is a whole different beast. So that's something that that I'm hoping I can get to do more of in the coming years, you know. Maybe even this year, depending how certain things happen. Sam says, I'm telling you, bro, I'm going all in for these Pacquiao Spence tickets. Then I'll look at flights and hotels. Hey, facts, bro, facts. Do what you got to do. You come out here, I'll take you to, you know what? And you can hold me to this too. I still got you on the Nando's. I still got you on the Nando's when I go to the UK. But when you come to Vegas, Sam, if you're here, I'll take you to Tacos El Gordo. That's a Vegas spot. If you're from Vegas, you know about Tacos El Gordo. That's a spot. They got great tacos there. Yeah, I've been seeing it, man. H Money been bodying these dudes. Been keeping their foot on their necks. America is North America and Central America. USA. You damn right. Tacos El Gordo. It's sorted. I'll get that sorted out for you real quick. Do you think Manny Pacquiao versus Errol Spence will be at Raider Stadium? We'll see, man. I personally, my opinion, it could be, but I think that's going to be the fight where they had that at the MGM Grand. I cannot see that fight not being at the MGM Grand. Pacquiao is an MGM Grand level fighter. That's like the top venue in Vegas. They haven't had any fights since the pandemic, so to speak. So I believe that'll be the fight they opened it back up for. Do you think Nakatani is good enough to beat Lomachenko? Yes, I do. Skill for skill, he's not as skillful as Lomachenko. No way, he's not as skilled as Lomachenko at all. So if it becomes a fight where he's trying to match him skill for skill, he's going to lose the fight. But I think because of his durability, his ability to keep coming forward, his stamina, and his size, and the fact that he actually can use that size to his advantage. He fights like it. He used that size. He lean right up on you. He throws grown man punches. I think this is a tough fight for Lomachenko. I slightly favor him 60-40, but I'm going for the upset. I'm going War Nakatani. Japan, stand the fuck up. Nakatani coming. He ain't playing with you fools. I'm getting gassed just talking about it. Y'all got me gassed already talking about Nakatani versus Lomachenko. Nakatani coming to punch this dude straight in his mouth. June 26th. The Virgin Hotel. Nakatani not playing. Let's see. Have you gone to Protein House in Vegas? No, I haven't. I never even heard of the place. I see Taylor and Crawford going the distance and Crawford getting a split decision. It's possible. It's possible. Do you reckon tickets will sell out quick? Yes. For Pacquiao Spence? Oh my God. That's gonna be one of them, because you're talking about Manny Pacquiao. We don't know how many times he's gonna fight. He's a box office attraction in America. He sells tickets no matter who he fights and where he fights. And Errol Spence is a rising star, a proven, solid draw. I mean, a solid draw as a fighter. So I think we're talking about that's going to sell in a day, a couple hours, easily. Were there any ladies at the Ramirez-Taylor fight? I didn't go to the fight, but I went to the Virgin Hotel, and I went to Caesar's Palace after the fight, the night of the fight. And oh my God, bro. Everywhere you look. They were everywhere. Junto Nakatani. What you know about Junto Nakatani, Enrique? Let's be honest. Wilder's going after Fury in his first fight back since his loss is a bad idea, because he should have at least took a tune-up fight. Yeah, he's going to get destroyed. Here's a good question. And by the way, shout out to everybody who's joining the live, and make sure y'all subscribe. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. like the video so YouTube lets more people know that this is a great live. But yeah, oh my God, there were plenty of girls everywhere in Vegas that night. If you were a boxer, who would you want to have as your promoter and trainer? That's a good question. For me, I would as a trainer, I would like to have either Hill Steward or Orlando Cuellar as my trainer. Those two would be like a shoo-in for my trainers. My manager would be Peter Khan, and my promoter. Shit, who my promoter be? I don't like none of these guys. My promoter would probably be Eddie Hearn, believe it or not. No, Mr. Honda, Tekken Promotions. I will go with Tekken Promotions. BT, what's your early prediction versus Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3? I got Tyson Fury 4th round knockout. 4th. Yeah, hey, Duke Odin. Shout out to my guy Duke Odin. Duke Odin's one of the OG subscribers. You know, I remember seeing Duke in my lives back in 2018. So, you know, much respect to Duke. He's been here for a long time. God bless Duke. He says, you got to take Pops next time, bro. Pops needs a vacation. He does need a vacation. You know, Pops works very hard. You know, he's very, very... I've been dying. You know, let me tell y'all something about Pops. So, Pops has gone with me to pretty much almost every fight venue there is in South Florida. The Edgar Berlanga fight back in April was the first, like, big-time boxing fight I've ever taken my dad to. Like, as far as, like, Top Rank, PBC, DAZN, all the other cards he's gone to with me have always been, like, local shows. And he really enjoyed that fight. So, you know, I'm looking to make the next fight Pops goes to, it's got to be a big fight. So, I'm looking at either Plant versus Canelo, Spence Pacquiao, Chocolatito Estrada 3, something like that. Do you think Spence and Bud will ever fight realistically? If Errol Spence decisively beats Manny Pacquiao, I think it'll happen. And I think Terrence Crawford will accept the terms. What do you think about Malik Scott as trainer? Hopefully he doesn't teach him how to dive. Well, look, hopefully he doesn't teach him how to dive, but it seems like he's at least taught Wilder the basic concept of a feint and some body shots. Because I've never seen Deontay Wilder throw body shots or feints, you know, so doesn't mean he'll do it in the fight, but he's doing it in training, so it's a good sign. Tyson Fury will knock the lies out of Deontay Wilder. Facts. You lied to me, Wilder. Box Talk 101. Shout out to my guy Freddie. Box Talk 101. Make sure you subscribe to Box Talk 101. He's a friend of the channel. Good guy. He says, I'm just tuning in. What did I miss? Oh, it's quite a lot. We talked about, what did we talk about? We talked about the Taylor Ramirez fight. We talked about my interaction with Virgil Ortiz when recently at the MGM Grand. We talked about Pacquiao and Spence. We talked about how I got into boxing as far as covering the sport. We talked about a lot. Nakataya and Lomachenko, we talked about that a little bit. Major Key Boxing says, shout out to Pops. He had to look up at me because I'm so tall. Hey, I love Pops, but with all due respect, Pops got to look at almost everybody because Pops is a pretty short guy, but, you know, it ain't about the size of the dog in the fight, but the size of the fight in the dog. Pops, that dude, he crazy. BT, get as much money as you can and make sure you put it on Teofimo by KO. He's mad with this Aussie dude, and he's going to take him out brutally. George Kambosos. That's going to be a good fight. I'm definitely going to that fight. I've never been more excited for a fight because that fight's at Marlins Park. My favorite stadium in all sports. Having a boxing match, finally. BT, where do you put Pac-Man if he somehow beats Spence? For me, it's a place on boxing's Mount Rushmore. I mean, shit. Yeah, because that'll make him unified champion at the age of 42. Yeah, I think you'd be right. And then I think If he beats Spence, we might have to reopen the conversation about who is truly the best fighter of the generation, Manny or Floyd. Because look, I love Floyd, and I have no problem with anybody who thinks he was the best fighter of his generation. But like, bro, Floyd Mayweather's out here fighting Logan Paul and Nazakawa and these guys, but Manny Pacquiao at 42 years old, he still wants all the smoke. He still wants all the smoke. Freddie, my man Freddie with the first super chat of the day. Shout out to Freddie. Box Talk 101 with the $5 super chat. He says, keep up the solid work, my man. I'm going to be in Miami for Lopez Kambosos. Are you going to still be around by then or still in Vegas? No. I'm going back to, I'll be in Florida. My flight back to Florida is on June 2nd. So I'll be in Vegas from now till June 2nd. I'll definitely be in Florida before that fight. Yeah, I'll be at that fight for sure. Because one thing you may not know about me, Freddie, I'm very excited about this fight. Not just because it's about not just because of Teofimo Lopez and Kambosos, and not because it's just in Miami, but it's because of the venue. It's at Marlins Park. Miami Marlins, my favorite team in all sports. And for us to have for there to be a fight there, let alone Teofimo Lopez there, there's just no way I'm gonna miss that fight. There's no way, absolutely not. So to answer your question, yeah, I'll be home. But thank you, bro. I appreciate the super chat, and I appreciate everybody here who's supporting. True School, out of curiosity, have you ever met Juwan Day? I know that. Canelo? Have I ever met Canelo? Nah, I never met Canelo. I'd love to meet Canelo. All the fighters that you guys think that I hate, I'd love to meet all of them. Canelo, Wilder, Joshua, all the people that people say I hate, I'd love to meet them all. Interview them all. I think those would all be the best interviews. Who's on Mount Rushmore now? Pete asking the important questions. My personal boxing Mount Rushmore, I have Joe Louis is on it for sure. I think Joe Louis is the greatest heavyweight of all time. So Joe Louis is on my Mount Rushmore. I would say Sugar Ray Robinson, Roberto Duran is on there. And then the great Henry Armstrong is on there too. So Henry Armstrong, Roberto Duran, Joe Louis, and Sugar Ray Robinson. That would be my Mount Rushmore, my unbiased Mount Rushmore. Now, if you want my biased Mount Rushmore, like my favorite fighters, Chocolatito, Riddick, Bowe, Josh Taylor, you know, them guys. But that's me being biased. That's my favorite fighter, Mount Rushmore. That's not who I actually think is the best. Can't wait for Tio as well. It'll be great build up because the Aussie can talk. Tio, listen, I'm gonna tell you this. I made a video saying that I really think I made a video saying that I think this fight is a trap fight for Teofimo Lopez, and that I believe it'll be a tough fight for Lopez, his fight with Kambosos. It might still be, but I'm changing my tune because I've seen recently who Teofimo Lopez brought into his camp, and I think he's gonna beat the dog shit out of Kambosos. Teofimo Lopez is over here sparring with my boy Dominique Trap Francis, one of the most talented and best kept secrets in the sport right now. You know, the 122-pound prospect, 9-0, 6 KOs. Hell of a fighter, you know, and really, really fast, precise, you know, faster than anything George Kambosos can bring to the table. So I think Teofimo gonna beat the shit out of Kambosos. I'm going with the 5th round style knockout, but I'm hoping for a good fight. But I love how Kambosos is talking it up. I know George believes in himself, and I'm looking forward to hopefully a competitive fight. Did you see, did you see Jarrell Miller at the Mayweather versus Logan Paul press conference? I think he has joined TMT Security. It's sad. Sad? Nigga, we should be applauding Jarrell Miller. You know how much he's getting paid? Man, Jarrell Miller, so what? He didn't become champion. So who gives a damn? You mean to tell me all he gotta do is walk around with Floyd and protect him? And he's gonna get paid nicely? He sound like a winner to me. Jarrell Miller sounds like a winner to me. I've never been there. Tell me about Marlins Park. Oh, Marlins Park is amazing, man. I mean, look, I've been to 10 baseball stadiums. I'm a big baseball fan. I'm biased. Marlins is my favorite team, so obviously I'm going to say it's the best park in the world. But it's beautiful. I think for boxing, it's gonna be great because the beautiful thing about Marlins Park is the way it's set up. Is it's located in a section of Miami called Little Havana, which is a very Cuban area. So it's a very cultured area, and when at the stadium, right? So in left field, there's these glass panels, because the stadium's an indoor stadium. There's these glass panels, and the glass, if you like you can actually open the glass panels, and you can actually see the Miami skyline from almost anywhere in the park in left field. So if they align the ring in a certain way and they're fighting at nighttime, Teofimo and Kambosos could be throwing punches at each other, and the Miami skyline will be in the background. It's beautiful. Marlins Park is one of the greatest venues on earth. Marlins Park could have been better. Nah, I think they've done a good job of making it better. Like when they first opened it, I didn't really like it at first because they used to have this ugly ass sculpture in the left field with flamingos and stuff. But Derek Jeter's done a good job of like cleaning it up and making it better. And the fight's gonna be June 19th. So we're talking about South Florida, middle of the summer, with the roof open, a beautiful breeze, the Miami skyline in the background. Unbeatable. It's gonna be a great night of boxing. I can't wait. Shout out to everybody, man. Who else we got here? The greatest heavyweight. Look at Jack Johnson, the first black champion. You think he was really the best heavyweight? Because I haven't studied Jack Johnson's career the most, but I know enough to know that. Didn't he have like a 40 to 30 pound weight advantage on everybody? He was so much bigger than all the other heavyweights. You really think he's the best one? I like Joe Louis. I think Joe Louis is the best. No heavyweight in history fought with more pressure on their shoulders than when Joe Louis fought Max Schmeling in that rematch, in my opinion. He had the whole country of America riding on his shoulders for that fight. The exhibition fights, Sport Thai by channel says, what do you think about those exhibition fights going on with those YouTubers? Do you think that is helpful to the boxing world? You know, it's funny you mentioned that because I just watched the recent press conference between the YouTubers and the TikTokers because they're having a whole card. It's YouTubers versus TikTokers. And I don't know who none of these people are, but I watched the press conference for that, and it was entertaining. It was great. I think it's its own audience. I think it's good because, you know, people who don't like boxing, they might get their interest piqued by boxing and come to the sport. So, you know, I'm not against it. I feel like it has its own audience. It doesn't help or hurt the sport. It just adds. That's my opinion. The first couple early renderings of Marlins Park were way better. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I like Marlins Park. It's hard. Marlins Park to me is one of the top 5 baseball stadiums. Unbiasedly, like I haven't gone to all the baseball stadiums, but the ones that I've gone to, I think it's up there. It's hurricane season in South Florida though. That don't mean anything. We won't get any hurricanes in June. We almost never get hurricanes, and when we do, they're never in June. They're always like in September, October, fourth quarter of the year. It's going to be in the middle of the summer. It's going to be something ridiculous. And then look, it's in Florida, and they lifted the COVID restrictions, and from what I was told, they're going to use all 37,000 seats for the stadium. So we're talking about Marlins Park, Miami skyline in the background, the roof open, beautiful Miami weather in the middle of the summer, bad Latin women everywhere at the fight. I'm telling you right now, when Teo fights Kambosos, there's going to be no shortage of beautiful women. I promise you. You know? I can't wait. Chance Dotson, shout out to you with the $2 super chat. He said, what's up, BT? Yankees all day. Teofimo KO's George Kambosos. Thank you, Champ, for the super chat. And nah, man, to hell with the Yankees. It's all about one team and one team only. The untouchable Miami Marlins baseball empire. We coming. They're playing right now, actually. They're playing the Phillies. You know, if they win today, they'll be tied for first place. We come for the Mets.
The greatest show on night.
Oh, yeah, shout out to the Florida Panthers, too, last night. They got the win against the Lightning, you know. I missed some comments up top. Why do you think Joe Louis is the best? Because of the Max Schmeling fight? No, I think Joe Louis is the best because, first and foremost, he had, I know you can say he padded his record with the Bum of the Month Club, but he beat some good fighters, too. It's not like he just went in there and just beat bums. He beat Max Berry, beat Schmeling. He beat some great heavyweights. But like if you look at Joe Louis, right, the Schmeling fight only adds to the great legacy of Joe Louis. But if you were to look at a book, like if somebody said, like if you were to look at how to a textbook boxing, like how to box, you know, how to throw a jab, how to throw a straight right hand, how to throw a hook, being on balance. Joe Louis is like textbook boxing. It's actually amazing that like he was like back in those days, fighters seemed to have better fundamentals than they do today. But like Joe Louis, when we talk about the history of heavyweight boxing, it's few fighters far in between who had the textbook boxing technique of a Joe Louis, and that's facts. So it's the resume, it's the legacy, it's the longevity, it's the textbook boxing. It's everything. It's everything around his career. Yeah, and the crazy thing is the card is not even that good. Let me be honest with you. I mean, you got Francois Cruz DeZern, you got Andy Vences is fighting someone. I forgot who he's fighting. You'll probably remember Box Talk because that's your guy, but I know he's fighting on the card. It's a very lackluster undercard, in my opinion. You know, I love Peter Khan. Peter Khan's a friend of the channel. He's a friend of the show. I got his number on my phone. I'm gonna call him soon because you know Peter Khan. You know, you've been ducking me, Peter, but like, you know, Peter Khan gotta tighten up on the undercard, man. The best time to be in South Florida is November to April, in my opinion. And Milo Grogan ain't right, because if I'm not mistaken, Milo's from the town. Milo's from South Florida. Where are you from again, Milo? Tell him where you're from in South Florida, Milo. I'm from Dania Beach. Val says, Jaron Ennis versus Ugas. Who do I got in that fight? It's a good fight. Ugas very experienced. Ugas awkward, deceptively strong. I look at that as a close fight. I'm slightly favoring Ennis. 60-40 in that fight. I'll go with a Jaron Ennis points decision. What are your thoughts on Andre Ward trying to convince Timothy Bradley trying to convince Andre Ward to come back with some tune-ups to wash Canelo? I would love for that to happen. You know, just so we can have. I think it'd be interesting. You know, why not? Come on, Pastor Ward. Come on, Andre Ward. Come back. Come back and let's rid us of Canelo, please. Because we know he's not going to fight Demetrius Andrade. He's going to duck him for the rest of his life. Caleb Plant, you know, he's the underdog. I think Caleb Plant can beat Canelo. We'll see. Give me some tips for growing my channel. I would just say, you know, stay true to yourself. Keep putting out content as much as possible. You know, there's going to be times when you're on YouTube and like, it's crazy because I've probably deleted more videos on YouTube than people have made videos on YouTube. It's crazy. But like, there's going to be days where you put out content and you're not getting the views and you're not getting what you want to get. And you're like, man, why am I doing this shit? Like, you know, and you think that nothing's really going to change. You gotta stay the course. You gotta keep putting out videos no matter what. If a video gets 20 views, that's good. If it gets 20,000 views, that's good. And you gotta just kind of, you gotta kind of just keep putting out content because YouTube moves so quickly that if you take a week off or you miss a couple of days, you're gonna fall behind. So just put out content as much as you can. Make content that you like making. Stay true to yourself. Try not to be biased. And that's what it is. You know, a lot of these boxing channels are having a hard time getting views right now. I haven't had that problem. This month on True School Sports has been my most successful month on YouTube in like 2 years. You know, and why is that? It's because I'm not trying to do what everybody else is doing. I do what's good for me. You know, I stay true to myself. You know, I go to these fights, I interview fans. I do things. I just do different things. You know, and I find what works for me, and it works for me. You know, go live. I would say for you, man, for anybody on YouTube, I'm gonna leave it at this. Right? I'm gonna leave it at this when it comes to building your YouTube channel. Views are great, and I love getting views. Views are great. You know, when you're a content creator and you get views, you feel good. But don't focus on views. Focus on building a relationship with your audience. Build a relationship with your audience and a connection with your audience, and the views will come. That's the best advice. That's the best advice I could give you. Value your audience over the views, and the views will come. Views will come and go no matter what. You know, even the big channels like Fight Hype, Fight Hype has certain fighters that when they make videos, they're not gonna get a lot of views, and they got other videos that when they make videos about them, they're gonna get a lot of views. So it's the same for every channel. You can't be doing it part-time. I had that problem for a lot of years. Like 2018, I was like a part-time YouTuber. 2019, I was like a part-time YouTuber. You know, for pockets of those years. You know, but now I really feel like I've become more of like a consummate professional. You know, I'm here. I try to make sure I keep the streets fed with videos, and I try to come live, and I'm going to the gym later. Stay around boxing and just build that relationship with your audience. Do you get paid really good by YouTube? I get paid, but I wouldn't say it's really good, and I'm not going to disclose what I get paid, but I get, you know, I get paid well enough to come to Vegas. I'll leave it at that. Your personal top 10 GOATs list and why. Appreciate your love for boxing and the facts. So you're talking about my favorite fighters, like my favorite fighters who I look at as like great fighters, like personal top 10 GOATs. So these are fighters that I just think are great. I'll give you my 10. All right. First and foremost, we'll start with my favorite fighter, Roman Cholatito Gonzalez. I mean, with him, this is a guy that always looks for the top fighters. He looks for all the smoke. All the smoke. I mean, he's always trying to fight the best people. You know, he fought Carlos Cuadras on no tune-ups, 115, fourth weight class. Someone said that BT's getting paid good enough to get that Breitling watch. But Cholatito, you know, he fights in a style that's very entertaining, and he also but he doesn't compromise the sweet sides of boxing to do that. And he's fighting the best people, so I like him, you know. And listen, people like fans may overrate Chocolatito or may underrate Chocolatito and say, oh well, he's not that good. I don't know who he fought. He got knocked out against Rungvisai. He shouldn't have been pound for pound king. But if you talk to box like the actual fighters, his peers, he's got some of the most respect in the, and that doesn't come cheap. He earned that respect. So Chocolatito, Riddick Bowe, you know, his career could have been a lot better, and I think it could have been, but I mean, for Christ's sakes, he was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world with a win against undefeated prime Evander Holyfield. Come on, man. How much better can you do than that in boxing history? You know? Could he have had more longevity? Yes, but you know, Riddick Bowe, to me, when we talk about talent in the heavyweight division, you don't get much better than him. So he's another one for me that I really like. A fighter that nobody talks about from Mexico that I think was a great fighter, a damn good fighter, was the great flyweight, Miguel Cotto. I mean, Miguel Cotto had 15 or 16 defenses of the lineal title or the WBC title, whatever it was. Probably one of the best defensive fighters to ever come from Mexico. Miguel Cotto, man, truly one of the most underrated legends from the great country of Mexico when it comes to boxing. So shout out to Miguel Cotto, another one that I like that's a GOAT to me. You know, who else we got? Marlon Starlin. Oh my God. How can we forget about Marlon Starlin? You know, Antonio Tarver calls himself the Magic Man. Paul Lee calls himself the Magic Man. But when we talk about the Magic Man, there's only one Magic Man, and that's my guy, Marlon Starlin. I mean, oh my God. He had the high guard defense perfected. Nobody had the better high guard defense than Marlon Starlin. He had that steak knife sharp right hand. One of the best defensive fighters of all time. One of the best straight right hands of all time. Hell of a fighter. Another fighter from that same era, Mark Breland. Oh my God. The greatest American amateur of all time. We know that already. But as a professional, he gets underrated. He gets very underrated as a professional. You know, this is a guy, Mark Breland. He became world champion very early in his career. He went on the road to England, fought a very dangerous, very just dangerous Lloyd Honeygun. The same Lloyd Honeygun that had defeated, was it Donald Curry? Or who was it? Donald Curry? I think it was Donald Curry. Lloyd Honeygun was one of the best fighters in the history of British boxing. Mark Breland went over there and beat the shit out of Lloyd Honeygun. 6 knockdowns. I think it was 5 or 6 knockdowns. Dropping him with the jab, straight right hands. He made Lloyd Honeygun, who was a damn good fighter, look like an F-class fighter. F. Not a D, not a C, an F-class fighter. And you only do that if you're a special fighter like Mark Breland was. So he's another guy to me that's the GOAT. One of the GOATs of boxing, you know, especially American boxing. Yeah, there's a lot of guys, man. A lot of guys. But I want to get some more comments, and let me meditate on your question some more. Yvonne, oh yeah, you talk about every fighter. The rest just stick to Wilder and Canelo. Exactly. When you're building a YouTube channel, right? If you're a boxing channel, then fucking cover boxing. Like cover boxing. A lot of these channels aren't boxing channels. They're tabloid channels. They're freaking OK Magazine, and they're freaking Rolling. They're like a Cosmopolitan of boxing. All those female magazines that talk about, you know, who's fucking who and who's dating who and this and that and the third. Garbage. You cover boxing, try to cover as much of it as possible, from fighters that are big names to not big names, because you never ever know which video will pop off. I mean, I got my highest viewed video on my channel doesn't have any professional boxers in it. You know, it's a sparring session. You know, so you just don't know. Exactly. Most of these channels are casual channels passing themselves off as boxing channels, but they couldn't tell you if a right hook or a right hand from a right cross. They couldn't tell you about a feint. They couldn't tell you about a pull counter. They couldn't tell you about nothing. As far as my GOAT list, though, what have I named, like 4 or 5 fighters so far? Another one is Manny Pacquiao. I mean, do I gotta say anything about Manny Pacquiao? One of the GOATs of boxing. You know, skill and weight classes, fighting the best people. Just one of the Manny Pacquiao has been a bit. He's carried this sport for a long time. To me, he's one of the GOATs of boxing. You know, another guy that I regard very highly, and people don't seem to hear this when I say it, but I'll say it again. Gallo Estrada, Juan Francisco Estrada, is to me a living legend, and he's not getting talked about enough. You know, yeah, I thought he lost Cholatito. You know, it is what it is. I thought he lost Cholatito. He definitely lost Cholatito. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it to me that he lost Cholatito. But aside from that, great fighter. Oh my God. If you want to just be technical about it, he's done something Canelo hasn't done. Gallo Estrada, he's lost a couple of times in his career, but you know what he's done that Canelo hasn't done? He's went back and he's avenged every last one of them losses. So there's no way that's fought Gallo Estrada that can say they ever got one over on Gallo Estrada. Any man that has stepped foot in the ring with Gallo Estrada, including the great Cholatito Gonzalez, has lost to Gallo Estrada at some point. That is a concrete fact, whether I like it or not. One of the best counterpunchers in the history of Mexican boxing. And I think he doesn't get the credit he deserves. And look, I know everybody wants to talk about Canelo and resume this, resume that. I don't even think Canelo is the best active Mexican fighter. I think it's Gallo Estrada. And that's not because he fought Cholatito. That's because of the risk that he takes. That's because of the skills that he displays in his fights. That's my opinion. Gallo Estrada is not getting the credit he deserves on a fight-by-fight basis. There's few fighters in boxing that have his level of boxing ability and the ability to fight. I mean, I'm talking about the ability to maneuver your opponents to where you want them to go, counterpunch them, fight with them. I mean, Gallo Estrada is not getting the credit he deserves. Rob87 says, BT, are you still sparring once in a while? I haven't sparred since, when was the last time I sparred? The last time I sparred was, I want to say, March. I haven't sparred since March when I was in Texas. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I still spar every now and then. I don't exercise as often as I should, but you know, I'm running Mount Charleston again on Saturday. So, you know, make of that what you will. What do you think about Counterpunch Boxing News? Do you think he is an AJ fanboy, like his subscribers? I'll be honest with you, I know who he is. I know he's got a big channel. He's got more subscribers than me, so shout out to him. God bless Counterpunch. Seems like a cool guy, but I'm not really familiar with his content enough to say yes or no. I don't know. That's how busy I am on my own channel. I'm so busy with my own channel most of the time and just being around boxing and traveling and whatnot that I don't really have time to watch most channels. And if I do, it's only like a handful of channels that I like to watch. And even them I don't watch like that. And yeah, Aaron Superman Davis beat the brakes off Mark Breland. Another guy, another one of the forgotten American warriors that people don't talk about enough when we talk about the great fighters from this country. You know, Aaron Superman Davis. Shout out to him. I was watching that fight live, true, in 1994. I wasn't even born. Yeah, I was born in 95. I was 5 years old. Riddick Bowe versus Evander Holyfield won. Awesome fight. Well, actually, Bowe Holyfield won wasn't in 94. It was actually 1992. But either way, it was still before I was born. Great fight. You know, Arguello, Mayorga, Gonzalez, the Nicaraguan goats. That's right. Nicaragua. Shout out to my boy Eric Lanzis Jr. He's a friend of the channel. He's an upcoming fighter back home in South Florida. He was born in this country in America, but he's of Nicaraguan descent. He's actually sparred Charlatito. He sparred a lot of fighters. Charlatito, George Kambosos, Emmanuel Tego, Emiliano Vargas, Chris Colbert. And he said in one of our recent interviews that I'm posting very soon, he said that I'm an honorary Nicaraguan. So I guess I'm like 5% Nicaraguan now. Made Man and Counterpunch are the two main channels. Malinaji has a podcast. Yeah, Made Man. You know, he's an OG. He's been around for a long time. I don't watch him very often, but I watched one of his videos like a couple weeks ago. I watched one of his videos. True School, you need to pull up to one of H Money's streams these days. I do, man. I've been telling him for a long time I will, and I'm going to. Counterpunch is very objective. I like his content, but everyone has a slight bias to someone. It's true. Everyone knows on my channel that I'm Charlatito, Teofimo Lopez, Josh Taylor, Terrence Crawford, Tyson Fury. I'm always gonna have some slight bias. Those are guys that I like. Thank you, champ. You said Made Man. You said Counterpunch, and you said True School. So I'm glad I'm in good company. I'm in good company. Nicaraguan food is tasty. That's what I heard. I heard it's great. I want to try some of it. I never really had Nicaraguan food. Yeah, Mayweather, for better or for worse, you know, Floyd managed his career great, but all the fighters after him, these fighters, a lot of these fighters today, that's why you got to really appreciate Josh Taylor and what he's doing, because Josh Taylor isn't messing about. Josh Taylor isn't doing no funny business. He's fighting the best fighters, undefeated champions at their best weight in their prime, and he's not there's no problems. You know, he's not messing about. That's why Josh, everything you're asking these other fighters to do, you're begging these other fighters to do, Josh Taylor's doing it. Been doing it since his 13th fight. Been doing it since his 13th fight when he fought Victor Postal. He fought Victor Postal in his 13th fight. How many fighters you know going to fight Victor the Iceman Postal in their 13th fight? Come on, man. That's why when I hear people flap their gums and fix ups and try to discredit Josh Taylor anyway, I'm not hearing that shit. I am not hearing none of that when it comes to Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor is doing everything you want Canelo that you're praising Canelo for trying to do, okay? You're asking Crawford to fight these top guys. He can't get the fights. Taylor's doing it. You know, you're asking a lot of these guys to do certain things. You're asking these guys, and you're praising these guys for saying they want to fight guys, for trying to go undisputed. Fuck that shit. He did it. He's doing it. He did it. Josh Taylor's different. And whoever beats Josh Taylor, put him in the Hall of Fame. Put him in the Hall of Fame. Because it's going to take a special fighter to beat Josh Taylor. I promise you. The UK's best fighter. Right now, I think he is.
He ain't from the UK, he's Scottish.
He's Scottish. You damn right. He ain't.
That shit right.
Canelo was fighting. Yeah, I was just talking to somebody yesterday. They were like, they said Josh Taylor's resume is catching up to Canelo's. I said, catching up? Man, Josh Taylor's resume smokes Canelo's resume. Are you serious? Man, when Canelo, listen, Josh Taylor's undisputed in 18 fights. When Canelo Alvarez had 18 fights, when Canelo Alvarez was having his 18 fights, he was fighting the guy who was running the taco stand in Guadalajara, Jalisco. Let's stop playing with me. Sam said, hey, who said that? Taylor is UK all day. My boy Johnny said that. My friend that I'm staying with said that. The best fighter of all time is Peter McNeely for fighting a Tyson after prison. Tyson had murder on his mind after prison, and I wouldn't fight Tyson after that ever. Yeah, Scotland is in the UK. I told you Demetrius Andre was the next Bernard Hopkins. That's right. You know, all these other channels are posting the Bernard Hopkins, Demetrius Andrade conversation, right? You saw that, right? You got some channels that got 3 minutes, some channels got 4 minutes, but only True School Sports got the full 7 minutes. You know, that's why we're the untouchable. But yeah, man, I'm definitely gonna put Scotland. I'm gonna put Scotland on my list of places to go. Yo, is Angelo coming soon?
6:30.
What time is it now?
It's like 5 something, bro.
Okay.
I'm just getting ready, bro. I'm getting your coffee.
Who do I got? Oh no, he said he's talking to H Money. Hey Sam, Johnny. Sam So says, you don't want those rib dinners. Yeah, he says you don't want any rib dinners from him. He said he's gonna beat you up, and he's British.
Who?
Sam, he's British from the UK. He said he's gonna beat you up. He said you don't want these rib dinners.
I want no smoke. I want no smoke.
You want no smoke?
I want no smoke.
Johnny said he didn't want no smoke. Johnny, you want to come talk to the people?
Well, I'm doing something right now.
Okay, he's doing something. Demetrius Andrade will slap Canelo silly. That's why Canelo don't want to fight him. Zahir Rahim was frozen out too. I remember that fight. I was the only one who picked him in the bar. He made me look good. Yeah, didn't he beat Chavez? Who did he beat? I know a little bit about Zahir. I know Zahir Rahim vaguely. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't he like a 1996 U.S. Olympian? I know him and Floyd were like really good friends. Canelo selected Yildirim. How are you the number one mandatory with the recent loss? I'm gonna give you my theory, okay? So Avni Yildirim, the guy who runs his career and his manager is a guy named Ahmet Oner. He was a fighter and he's been a manager. He's promoted a lot of Turkish fighters for years. Ahmet Oner and Mauricio Suleiman are like this. I mean, like this. Very, very, very close. If you go on Ahmet Oner's Instagram, there's tons of pictures of him with Mauricio Suleiman. So it all comes down to relationships and friendships. That's why I think he got the mandatory spot. Nothing more, nothing less. And I like Avni. Like, Avni's a friend of the channel. I'm rooting for him to do well. He's a very nice guy. He watches my stories on Instagram. He's training in Mundo Boxing Gym with Pedro Diaz. We call a spade a spade. He didn't deserve that fight with Canelo. At all. Do you think Joshua will struggle with Usyk's southpaw style? Yes, I do. And I really feel like in that fight, Anthony Joshua's jab has been getting better. He's been maturing a lot as a fighter. I really feel like in that fight, Anthony Joshua, his patience, his poise, his maturation as a fighter is going to really be put to the test. It's going to really, 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 really be put to the test. More ways than one. Boxing right now is no longer the same. Fighters are thinking about money first before their credibility. You're right. But that's why you gotta really respect a guy. You gotta really, really, really respect a guy like Josh Taylor. If you call yourself a boxing fan and you don't like Josh Taylor, I got a question if you've been a boxing fan, because he did everything you ask a fighter to do when they're in a weight class. Fight the best guys when you want them to fight, when you want the fights to happen at their best weight, when they're undefeated and when they're champions. No messing about. And went in there and beat everybody and look good doing it most of the time. Who do you think Teofimo will face after Kambosos? Taylor or Haney? I think Haney's more likely than Taylor. I think Taylor's gonna fight. What's his name? Taylor's gonna fight Crawford. Absolutely, yeah. There's too much focus on money, not on enough on legacy, man. Oh my God, Josh Taylor be thugging. I ain't gonna lie. Yes, that's what I'm saying. Josh Taylor. Listen. I saw Josh Taylor fight. I can't even remember his opponent's name. When I saw him fight on the James DeGale Bottle Jack undercard, I knew he was different. Milo Grogan says the '96 team was Zahir Rahim, Zab Judah, Floyd Mayweather. Oh my God. Talent upon talent upon talent. America runs boxing. USA, baby. The USA. The Stars and Stripes. Yeah. Hey, the USA. We holding the title. We holding the title, champ. We holding the title. What do you think about Donaire versus Ubali this coming Saturday, bro? Oh, hell of a fight. The fight really, to me, it all comes down to how much does Donaire have left in the tank. All right, how much does he have left in the tank? And with that being said, I think he's got nothing left in the tank to beat Ubali. Ubali is very straightforward. Strong, sturdy guy, comes forward, got a decent little jab, can box a bit. But I think Donaire will get it done. I think Donaire will beat him. I think Donaire will find a way to win. He'll find a home for that left hook, and it'll be a very entertaining fight. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a knockdown going each way. So, great fight. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to watch it live, but gonna be a fight that if you are in front of your TV, you're gonna watch it. I would say, for my money, it's a better fight than Haney versus Linares. True school. Everything is a business right now. The days, it's not the fighting the best. I mean, look at Canelo constantly running from Bowe and been running from him for the last 5 or 6 years. You're damn right. But at the same time, I'm a positive guy, so I focus on the positive. We got guys like Josh Taylor going undisputed, fighting the best. Teofimo Lopez going undisputed, fighting the best. You got Charlatito Gonzalez, who's been setting a good example for a lot of years. Manny Pacquiao still setting a good example. A lot of guys are fighting the best, are fighting top guys, are doing right by boxing. So, where does James Toney rank in your personal thoughts as far as his talent, even with the PED use later in his career? In terms of his pure talent, I think James Toney might have been one of the top 10 most talented fighters ever. But he was a bit, I don't know what, lazy. I don't know if lazy is the word, but I think he mismanaged his preparation. He's a guy that all he did was ever spar, which, listen, he's a dog. You can't question none of this when it comes to lights out Toney. But I think it would have been better for him and more advantageous for him if he would have cut back just a little bit on the sparring, So I think, in as far as the whole history of boxing, I would rank James Toney in the top 100 fighters of all time. I can't believe Crawford hasn't fought. Why is it hard to believe? Pavero. Is Ryan Garcia back? I've heard he was under medication. For real? That's unfortunate. I hope he's not taking too much medication, because that's how they fuck people up. They get people dependent on medication, and then you can't come off of it. And the pharmaceutical companies, they make a lot of money off of that. I know firsthand what medication does to people and how people can become dependent on it, because Pop has to take medication all the time, and I see what it does to him. So it's not good. I want Josh Taylor. Hold on, guys. I can't. Oh, okay, right. Oh wait, no, I can. All right, I'm back, guys. My friend had some important stuff to tell me about his life. Is what happened to Riddick Bowe what happens to fighters if they are in too many wars? Yes. That's part of the sport, man. It's part of the sport. But I'll be honest, in knowing Riddick Bowe, he's not. He has no regrets about his life. He's probably one of the happiest people I've ever met, because he went out there and he lived his dream. He became undisputed champion. He put his heart on the line, and that's something that nobody can take from him. And many people in this world love Riddick Bowe. Especially if you met him. If you meet Riddick Bowe, it's hard to not love the guy. Andrade has never fought a fighter whose name I can remember. What a joke. And a fighter holding a crown for years. I mean, I know the fighters he fought. You can't get off of them. It happens to a lot of wrestlers with painkillers. Yeah, that's why, like, I mean, I see it. I see it because, like, you know, my pops, you know, he put in 6 years in Saudi Arabia in the Gulf War, U.S. Army, and he came back home from the war with PTSD. So I've seen, and he takes medication. So I see what I know. I see how as a pop when he's on it and when he's not on it, and it's not good.
Shout out to Pops for sharing his friends.
Shout out to Pop. And y'all don't understand when it comes to being here on the videos. This is like one of the most peaceful times in the life of Pops. Truthfully, y'all don't know how much you helped my dad like just live and survive. Them paying those medication companies made a grip off of Shawn Michaels. Yes, they did. Oh my God, poor Shawn Michaels. Tony uninterested at times, not motivated and undisciplined. Yeah. How long will it take for people to realize that Terrence Crawford is an imposter on the pound for pound list? He's not an imposter. You can say he's not a pound for pound king, but anybody who's been the undisputed champion is not an imposter. Would Tyson Fury beat a prime Evander Holyfield? No, I don't think he would. You get loads of arthritis in your joints from you get loads of arthritis in your joints from fighting. A lot of tension in your back. I mean, look, I've been staying with a fighter, so I've got to see it firsthand what fighters do when they recover. And forget the gym, the recovery process for a fighter just from going to the gym is tough, because a lot of fighters they do a lot of the cupping, which relieves a lot of tension in the back. That's annoying as hell every day. Weighing out there's a lot of things that go into being a fighter. So that's why you got to respect everybody. Because half this shit we would never do. Pete says that I should give up on Terrence Crawford. Nah, absolutely not. He'll get his chance. He's going to prove a lot of you guys wrong that say he's not that good. That's why I was hoping he would fight the Manny Pacquiao, because he would have beat Manny Pacquiao. And he would have beat Manny Pacquiao, and that would have been his signature win that he needed. Were you disappointed in Elvis Rodriguez versus Kenneth Sims? Slightly. You know, I didn't look at Kenneth Sims as a pushover. I knew it would be a tough fight, and I wasn't the least bit surprised when Elvis lost. I didn't look at Elvis Rodriguez as this indestructible force, even though he was knocking everybody out and playing the guitar. I was just disappointed that he wasn't able to set up those hard shots that he was landing in his other fights. And it's back to the drawing board for him. So, you know, hopefully he gets himself together. That's why they be juicing. Boxing is tough. It is tough, bro. And sometimes, like, look, this might be an unpopular opinion, but I almost feel like performance-enhancing drugs or, like, PEDs, so to speak, I feel like they're necessary for boxing. I mean, most fighters at the world-class level, they're training 6 times a week. We're talking about, if you're in camp, you're sparring 2 or 3 times a week. And it's hard to recover in between training sessions. And sometimes that's all they're for, is to recover. So sometimes I be feeling to myself, low-key, that this shit is necessary. If you want to see these guys fight at the highest level, they need to take this shit. Yeah, look, the pharmaceutical companies are making money hand over fist over the over the COVID vaccine. It's crazy. Ooh, Kelly Brown talking cash shit. Kelly Brown says Crawford has the skills to beat Manny. What he lacks is the balls to risk it. Oh my God. I don't understand what you're saying, the gambler. Have you any fighter that's a banker this weekend? I need to make a few thousand. I don't know what you're talking about. Restate your comment, because I'm not sure what you're asking me. You know, like how the LWC says no one knows AJ in America? Well, all the American sports talk shows here in America were talking about Fury versus Wilder 3, and they said they were looking forward to AJ Fury. Facts. That's actually a fact. Exactly. Thank you, Fresh BX. Terrence Crawford is one of the greatest boxers to ever lace up a pair of boxing gloves. What the fuck are y'all talking about? Terrence Crawford, the truth. We can go. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all like this. You could watch boxing another 25 to 30 years, and we might not find 7 fighters as skilled as Terrence Crawford. Facts. Bud would punish Manny Pacquiao. Ask Freddie Roach. He might. I want to see that fight. I think it's a good fight. How many more fights for Edgar Berlanga till he gets in the ring with Canelo? Oh man, he needs a lot of work. He needs to stay away from Canelo. Canelo will ruin that boy. They fight right now. I think Edgar Berlanga is about a good 5 to 6 fights away from fighting Canelo. 5 to 6. Bet on Devin Haney. He ain't losing this. I might. I need to make some extra money, so I might. Hold on a second. Hey, Johnny. Johnny. Do you know the odds for Devin Haney versus Linares this weekend?
I'll find out.
Find out for me. I might put some money on Devin.
Mm-hmm.
If the odds are like, all right. Who was the better switch hitter, Terrence Crawford or Marvin Hagler? That's a tough question. I got Terrence Crawford. I might go put a grip on Devin Haney. Apparently he's is he minus 1,400 or plus? He's a minus 1,400. So
Hell no.
is that what he is?
Wait to live.
What is he?
He's a. Oh shit. No. He's a minus like. He's a minus 450.
Minus 450. So like, if you bet $100 on 450, how much would you get? I never understand the minus. I know plus.
Pretty much. So. Let me put it in.
Let me put it in this.
If I put $80 on Devin Haney,
It was going like Devin minus 450, then it was Devin minus 2,000. Now it's Devin minus 842.
oh, so you gotta put 70 down to make 10?
Devin. So for example, I'm gonna do it for Jorge Linares, for example. So you have $100 pretty much, and you bet on Linares when he's plus 300. You get 300. You get 300 back if you put 100 on it.
Okay.
And in Devin's terms, it means like you got to put $300 to make 100. But that's like the opening odds. The odds will change.
Yeah, I know they
right
change.
now,
They change.
You know, so they'll change right now. And towards the fight, it'll probably be like 300 or 400. But for Devin, if you want to do a knockout, I think the odds for a knockout are good too. So
Are they good?
You could.
Is that knockout in general, or you gotta go by?
It's better since like if you're gonna bet on Devin, it's better if you just say like Devin by decision or Devin by knockout.
Nah. Devin Haney ain't one of those being by decision.
All right. Well, if you put Devin Haney.
Jorge Linares is Latino American. He getting fucking chin.
Still live?
Someone asked, "Is that Johnny with the long hair talking?" It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still live. I'm trying to go for 3 hours today.
Wow.
I got
True School Sports don't play, man. True School lives.
I got 42 minutes to go. I'm at 138 minutes, 3 hours. True School. Oh, Marcos, the champ, Marcos. He hit his training gear.
True School, he lives for the game, man. Heart and soul, like his passion for boxing. You can't measure it, man. 3 hours straight.
I ain't even broke a sweat.
I ain't even broke
I
a
go
sweat.
with 3 more.
Me, 30 minutes, 10 minutes, I'll be done. But True School, he don't play.
You know, one time during the pandemic, I went live for 12 hours.
You went 12 hours?
Yeah.
You're lying.
I'm serious. No, Johnny, tell him.
No, he did.
Did he really? Yeah.
Damn.
But I had people on. It was just me by myself, like this. I had people talking. Like,
Okay.
At a panel.
I can't find the.
Man, he must have drank a lot of water that day.
Oh my God, I need water now.
I can't find the prop bets, but it's probably like if you bet on Devin.
You know what? I might put some money on the Devin Haney fight just to make it more interesting, because I'm not really the most gassed about Devin Haney versus Linares. So I want to find a way to get myself excited. Put some money on Devin Haney.
You'll definitely be excited if you put some money down. Shit.
And Devin Haney got a knockout?
I'll put some money on Devin Haney.
I
don't think he'll get a knockout though. I heard
When Crawford switches, how come he doesn't switch back? He does switch back. He just hasn't done it his last couple of fights because he's figured out I guess he's figured whenever he switches to the side that he wants to knock the guy out in, like he'll like for the Kell Brook fight, right? He switched. He fought that fight particularly at most of the time as a southpaw, and when he wanted to knock Brook out, when he found the chinks in his armor, he switched back to orthodox. Sup, Lucas Arrow, what's good, champ? It's Luke from Paris, 3 a.m. Always the best time to talk boxing. Every time is the best time to talk boxing. True School, do you think anyone will ever beat Terrence Crawford? No. Well, I don't know. I don't know who he's going to fight. It's hard for me to say.
But if your subscribers want to make good money, tell them to bet on Errol Spence, Manny Pacquiao, on draw, fellas.
I might do that, bro. I'm going to do that.
I'm feeling it, bro. I'm feeling that draw.
I guarantee you Devin not losing no matter what. If he loses, I'll never watch boxing again. That's my coastline. Jesus. The untouchable True School Sports Empire, man. We here. Make sure y'all smash that like button if you haven't done so already. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. You know, we here, man. I got the belt, man. I'm standing at the top of the throne on the YTV. We here, man. We here. I'm on my John Cena shit. DT thought Kell Brook was gonna beat Crawford. I got delusional. If you go back and you watch the first video I did about that fight, I said Terrence Crawford was gonna win. But then I said, you know what? Terrence Crawford's pissed off at Eddie Hearn. He a big 147. I started talking myself into it, and I like Kell Brook a lot, so I was being delusional. But yeah, he ain't lying. I did say that. But I also said when I bet on him, I also said if you go back and you watch the live, I said I ain't betting on Kell Brook, so fuck it. Kell Brook gonna beat Terrence Crawford. That was my way of saying it's probably not gonna happen. But BT, is the rumor true that you dated Nikki Bella? Hell yeah. In fact, I took her out for some coconut gelato last night. We had coconut gelato on the strip, on the Vegas strip. She was telling me her problems. She was telling me her problems, and we were having coconut gelato on the strip. LT says saludos through school con mi amigo Canelo hater. Yeah, man. Fuck that nigga, bro. To hell with Canelo. He needs to stop ducking Demetrius Andre. Listen, man. I'm just chilling. I don't want to talk no nonsense. That delusion led to Nando's. Exactly. So you should be thanking me for being delusional. You should be thanking me, man. Wiggity Split says, "True School, you're so handsome." Thanks, I guess. That's yeah. Pause. Hey, Wiggity Split, are you a guy or a girl? Because I don't know who's a guy or a girl between these accounts. Yeah, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, LT, man. But as far as Canelo LT, I think his next fight with Caleb Plant's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be a tough one, man. Bigger than people think. The fight I want to see, you know what? Let's talk about Canelo for a second. You want to know what fight I want to see for Canelo? You want to know what fight I want to see? I want to see Canelo take on what's his name? Artur Beterbiev. I want to see that fight. Not because I think Canelo would lose the fight. It's actually the polar opposite. I think Canelo Alvarez would beat the dog shit out of Artur Beterbiev if they fight.
Beterbiev chinny.
He chinny as hell. Canelo, that'll be one of Canelo's best performances. I promise you. I'll put money on that fight. Shout out to you, Sam. LMA, I wanted your reaction. It was priceless. Oh man, okay. Pause. Don't slag Canelo. I want to see you get that interview, champ. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if that's ever gonna happen. I don't know if that one's ever gonna happen. But yeah, I tell people all the time, like, I think he lose to Demetrius Andre, but one guy I don't think he lose to is Beterbiev, because everybody always says, oh, well, if he fought Beterbiev would beat him. I'm like, hell no. He beat the brakes off Beterbiev. I'll put money on it. We can bet $500 if you want. He ain't losing no damn out to Beterbiev. In fact, there's actually out of all the fights for Canelo, like big fights, there's no fight that I'm more confident in betting on that kind of money than Artur Beterbiev. Be nice to Eddie. Yeah, I gotta be nice to everybody, man. I talk a lot of shit, man. I talk a lot of shit, man, but it's because I love boxing. When is the next Sinisa Estrada scrap? I don't know, man. I haven't talked to her in a little bit. She said, Sinisa today on Instagram, she hinted at a fight, a big title fight, and she was like, "You'll never guess where my next venue is gonna be." And I commented on the post. I said, "Miami? You coming to Miami?" Maybe he would, but honestly, I don't think he would need to weigh Dre and Beterbiev. I think he's just legitimately a better fighter all the way around the board. He's more durable than Beterbiev. He's more skilled than Beterbiev. He's a better counterpuncher. Beterbiev is going to go in there relying on that strength and power, and he's going to find out that it's not going to work with Canelo. And once that he finds out that doesn't work, then it's a wrap. Come on, bro. Who did Boo Boo fight? And he's not even that impressive against B-level fighters. Well, that's as of late he hasn't been impressive against B-level fighters, but he ain't losing. They ain't competitive fights. You can say he hasn't been impressive, but they ain't even competitive fights. Liam Williams, everybody gives him a tough time for the Liam Williams fight, but Liam Williams won 3 rounds and got dropped. Sulecki, everybody said Sulecki was this good fighter when Jacobs fought him, but when Boo Boo fought him, he was nobody because he got shut out, got dropped. When he was dominating against quote-unquote B-level fighters like Willie Nelson and Brian Roses of the world, beat the shit out of these guys and look great and he still couldn't get fights. So it don't matter if he looks good in fights or he looks bad in fights. These dudes don't want to fight him because of the attributes. Jamal Charlo will beat Canelo Alvarez. No, he won't. He don't got the heart or the dog to do it. I don't think he does. He doesn't have the huevos to beat the Canelo Alvarez. To beat Canelo Alvarez, you got to have a lot of special qualities. Charlo got the skill. He's a beast. Charlo can box, but he don't got. I think when it comes to Jamal Charlo, he lacking this. Facts. Exactly. Willie Nelson, the same Willie Nelson Boo Boo Andrade schooled, and I think he whooped him. Knocked out Tony Harrison and gave him his first loss. Damn great fighter. Avni Yildirim versus Andrade, Canelo Smith versus Andrade, Billy Joe Saunders versus Andrade. I love to see all those fights, and I want to see Canelo Smith versus Avni Yildirim. Make that shit happen. Ryan Rhodes, a former Canelo enemy, said in a recent interview he believes Canelo at this point is so advanced of a fighter and heavy-handed he could catch a belt at cruiserweight. Damn. Nah, I heard when he said that. So, we talking about Canelo Alvarez versus Lawrence Okoli? If Canelo Alvarez fight Lawrence Okoli, I'm going for Canelo because Lawrence Okoli beat my boy Isaac Chamberlain, and I wasn't too happy about that. So I'll be going for Canelo if they fight. Do you think we will get the third Chocolatito Estrada 3 fight anytime soon? And if so, who you got in that fight? The last one was fire. The second fight was the greatest. The second fight was arguably the greatest fight I've ever went to in person. I had the time of my life. I think it'll be a close fight. I don't think anybody will get a decision. I don't think anybody will get knocked out. But I think in a close fight, Gallo Estrada will probably get a decision. So I'll go Gallo to get the win in the third fight. But I think Chocolatito will make it very close. I'm no Canelo fanboy. I thought he lost against Cotto when I saw it live against Lara and GGG at least once. But he's number one, Boppy. Number one pound for pound. How can Canelo... I'm not going to get into the whole pound for pound thing because I haven't even sat down and made my own pound for pound list. But how can Canelo be pound for pound number one when his resume isn't even better than Josh Taylor's? Let's just be real. Let's call a spade a spade. Everyone's getting gassed up about Canelo Alvarez attempting to go undisputed. Josh Taylor already did it in 18 fights against top guys at the best weight, in his weight class. Let's be real. Is Canelo Alvarez's resume, even if you think it's better, is it that much better than Josh Taylor's? He beat Golovkin controversially. He got schooled by Floyd. Beat Lara in what was a very close fight. Yes, he's been doing better names, but can we really say his resume is that much better than a guy like Josh Taylor? Is there any fighter on his resume that he's beat in better fashion than Tio did Lomachenko? Charlie, shout out to Child of the King. Charlie says, "Don't waste your cash on betting. Take your buddies out on the town." You're right. What's wrong with that though? Like, it's one weight, right? Marvin Hagler had an amazing resume at one weight. So is Jesse Vargas and Mikey Garcia better fighter than Marvin Hagler because they won championships in multiple weight classes? No. Are there other fighters that are in the Hall of Fame that scale weight classes that have better that they think are better than Marvin Hagler because they scale weight classes? No. I think in boxing because of there's so many titles and fighters can scale these weight classes and selectively move the opposition. I think in boxing now, the dominating a weight class has been devalued. I can't believe that it's been that devalued. Yeah, it's an amazing resume. I would argue that his run at 140 is better than anything. Pick Canelo at any weight class. 160, 168, 147, 154. His resume at 140 and what he did at 140 is better than any period of time at Canelo at any weight. Any run Canelo had at any weight. Prograis undefeated. Ramirez undefeated. Baranchek undefeated. Beat Victor Postol in his 13th fight. Who else am I missing? I'm sure I'm missing somebody. Loma was a better fighter, and Lopez won't want the rematch ever. Lomachenko was not the better fighter because Lomachenko had 396 amateur fights. He's one of the greatest amateurs of all time, and he got outboxed by a USA boxing amateur reject. He got outboxed by a guy that represented Honduras in the damn Olympics. And you gonna tell me he's better than Lopez? Come on, man. He's not taking the rematch. He's not taking the rematch because he's afraid of losing or that he's ducking Lomachenko. He's not taking the rematch because Lomachenko was arrogant and didn't put a rematch clause in the contract when Lopez requested it the first time. So he's just giving him a taste of his own medicine. That's all it is. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. If Lomachenko wants that fight, he's going to fight June 26th against Masayoshi Nakatani. The same Masayoshi Nakatani Teofimo Lopez had a very hard fight against. Go on that fight, make a statement, and create demand for a rematch. Create the demand for a rematch. Taylor and Usyk went through the jungle for their shit. Canelo went through Central Park for his. Yeah, Canelo. If he beats Caleb Plant, I think Caleb Plant will be his toughest fight of the guys at 168. And that says a lot about his run at 168. You know, he's going on a stroll down Hollywood Beach with a fucking mimosa in his hand. You know, looking at freaking Cuban girls. That's what he did compared to Josh Taylor and Usyk. Usyk went through the mud. They got it off the muscle. Josh Taylor versus Gervonta Davis. Who wins? Tough fight. I'm going to go with Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor by UD. If Tank beats Barrios, you know they're gonna start talking that 3-weight division world champion bullshit. Even though he's only fighting for the regular belt, no way is that more impressive than what Taylor has done. Exactly. So, listen, there's so many fighters in boxing right now. There's not many fighters in boxing that I'll put pound for pound over Josh Taylor. He's at bare minimum, number 3. Minimum number 3. I mean, I had to sit down and think about it, but minimum because of what he's doing. Just because he doesn't have the media backing or any of that stuff behind him, like that means nothing. Caleb Plant is overrated. It's going to be an easy win for Canelo. it's going to be his easiest win so far for a belt. No, you're wrong. Canelo's easiest win and its easiest belt was his first title fight at 168 when he fought Callum Smith. That was his easiest win. He'll never have a win more easier than that. A guy who came to Survivor for 12 rounds and didn't do anything and didn't win 5 seconds of any round. You say Caleb Plant's overrated. I think he's underrated. Obviously, he hasn't fought the best people. We know that. His best win is Jose Uzcategui. But just forget about the resumes, because when those two fight, Canelo Alvarez can't take his paper and say, here's my resume, and Caleb Plant can't take his resume in the ring and say, here's my resume, and they say, oh, that's how you win the fight. Resumes don't win fights. It's all about the styles, and it's all about who's going to apply their skills to the best of their abilities on the night. And Caleb Plant, I even underrated him. I went back and I spent like 2 hours watching him about a week ago. Underrated body puncher, sharp puncher, natural 168-pounder, very elusive. He's the guy that has all the tools in the world to not just beat Canelo, but I'm gonna put it to you like this, because y'all gonna be fired up right now. I'm gonna put it to you like this: if Caleb Plant puts it all together against Canelo Alvarez might have PTSD of fighting Floyd Mayweather. I'm telling you, on God, I'm telling you. The size, the reach, the elusiveness, the sharpness, it will be a stylistic problem for Canelo. Now, should Canelo be the favorite? Yes. Does Caleb Plant have a lot of experience that he probably needs in the boxing ring? Yes, I acknowledge those things. 21 fights in, his best fight has been against Uzcategui, but listen, I'm gonna go with what Andre Ward said. Andre Ward said it best. Andre Ward called Caleb Plant a money fighter, basically meaning that the bigger the stakes are, the higher the stakes are, the better he's gonna fight, and that's what I think's gonna happen. Nathan Carey, main event boxing talk. What's good, champ? He says stop pushing Plant before he is ready. I'm not pushing Plant. I never wanted to see Plant versus Canelo. Canelo's pushing Plant. Blame his ass. Caleb Plant, my friend, I'm ready for you. He's the one pushing for it. I'm not pushing for that fight. I want you. Listen, y'all know what fight I want to see. When it comes to your boy BC, there's only one fight I want to see. Exactly. Who had a better resume before Tia beat Loma? Lomachenko did, and it meant jack shit when they fought. It meant absolutely nothing when they fought. It's too soon for Plant. I think it's probably a little bit too soon for Plant as well. But I also think it is too soon for Plant. But I also think Caleb Plant has it within his heart, within his spirit, to put it together on the night and give Canelo the hardest fight he's had since Floyd Mayweather. And I think he will. I mean, if you listen to the interviews, right, he's already saying Canelo Alvarez can't fuck with me. He's already saying that. That's that American mentality. He got the American mentality. Canelo Alvarez versus Caleb Plant is a very good fight. If Caleb Truax can land clean-up punches on Caleb Plant, Canelo gonna put Plant to sleep. Maybe. We'll see. But it's a fight. I mean, if you want to go by that logic, if Jose Miguel Cotto can land punches on Canelo, then Caleb Plant's gonna destroy Canelo. If Dale Jacobs can land punches on Canelo, then Caleb Plant's gonna land punches on Canelo. If Liam Smith can land punches on Canelo, then Caleb Plant's gonna land punches on Canelo. I don't think he is. I'll be honest with you. He's the same fighter. Canelo Alvarez his tendencies are the same since he fought Floyd. It's very to me, the only thing that's really changed with Canelo is he's got better in the pocket. He's got more comfortable and relaxed in the pocket. But as far as what he likes to do and how he applies his skills, he's the same fighter. He's the same fighter as when he fought Floyd. The only reason you guys think otherwise is because he's fighting styles that exaggerate his improvements. With that being said, listen. With that being said, look, I'm gonna get up on out of here. I gotta start getting ready to go to the gym. But listen, it was great talking to you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. You know, so like the video, all that good stuff, man. Check out all the content, all the videos. And yeah, man, it's gonna be listen. When Caleb Plant Canelo fight, I can't wait. Even if Caleb Plant loses, I know it's not gonna be no easy. It's not gonna be no easy fight for Canelo. Not at all. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if it's harder for him than Billy Joe. But listen, go check out the content. There's plenty of videos on the channel. Look out for anything. The Champions League final. I don't even know who's in it. Who's in the Champions League final? I know it's is it Chelsea? Is it Chelsea and Man City? Who's in the final? I'll answer that last question before I go. Who's in the Champions League final? Chelsea and Man City. I'm gonna go with Man City. I like the Man City midfield. I think they'll be able to control the game a little bit more. Give me Pep Guardiola and the boys in blue. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna get out of here. You guys check the content. You be blessed. Have a great day. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just keeping dating you. So until next time, take care, guys.